Funding for the 1998 High School Wrestling Championships was provided by Friends of Iowa Public Television. Nearly 80,000 members supporting quality public television programming.
Live from Veterans Auditorium in Des Moines, Iowa, Iowa Public Television Sports presents the Iowa High School Wrestling Championships. Hello, I'm Doug Brown with Tim Johnson back where it really starts. We just love this tournament. And as a matter of fact, we've had our biggest crowd probably in history here. Tim, I can't understand how you can have 20,000 high school people walking around. They never sit down, you know, and still all the seats are full. I mean, this is amazing.
Well, it sounds cliches, but it's the oldest and it's the greatest wrestling tournament in all over the nation. And I got here yesterday and I couldn't find a seat, and I knew it was a record crowd. But one of the things that keeps this tournament getting better all the time, and the kids keep getting better, the coaches keep getting better, and one thing that keeps it exciting is the fact that new teams emerge and challenge the old guard.
We have a great race in one of the divisions we want to tell you about a little bit later. Here's how we do it. You know, if you've watched before, the Iowa High School Athletic Association has a rotation system where we feature one match at 4 weights. From 2A, first of all, 130 through 145 will be the 3A, the big schools. Then we'll go to the small schools, 152 to 189. And at heavyweight, well, we'll just wait till we get there and figure out what we do. But even if you don't see your grandson or your neighbor featured in that one right out front, he's going to be up in the corner because we're going to have the other 2 matches showing in the corner as we did last year. And when we don't hear a whole lot about them, as you see them, that doesn't matter. Dean Borg and Dick Trotter, our 2 expert and long-time floor reporters, will tell you all about them when the time comes. But Tim, you know, one of the things I think about, you mentioned coaches. The coaching across this state, that's one of the reasons it's gotten better, because everywhere now there are unbelievably good coaches.
Well, I love coaches. The programs
You were
reflect,
one.
Yeah, that's right. And the programs reflect the coaches. Look at the 3 coaches of the year: Ken Essling from Bondurant-Farrar, Wade King from Davenport Assumption, and Gene Doyle from Cedar Falls. They're all either have wrapped up a tournament championship or are going for it. But then we have outstanding individuals. And at 1A, maybe one of the most outstanding ever, Justin Stanley from Wilton, going to become, if he wins tonight, the all-time winningest wrestler in the history of Iowa High School wrestling. And in 2A, we have Luke Moffitt, and if he defends his title and gets a second one, he'll have won 89 in a row. And then in 3A, we have Terry Parham from Glenwood. If he wins his second, he may put Glenwood in a position to challenge Cedar Falls for the title.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll talk about those team races. We've brought Ron Seaman in again, who's the Predicament publisher and editor. And Ron, we have in 1A, a race like I don't think I've ever seen before.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's a great race. There are 4 teams, and they still don't know who's going to win this race. Right now, Bondurant-Farrar has got their name on the top line, but they're tied with the Columbus Junction for first place. Postville is in 3rd after leading it early today, and Wilton, they've got 2 wrestlers going tonight, so they may win the whole thing.
We aren't going to know until the very end. That'll be a great one at 1A. 2A, Davenport Assumption, though, boy, they steamrolled.
2A really, Davenport Assumption did a wonderful job. And they've got 3 kids still alive tonight, so they're not going to let go of the hold on it. You know, they've got a big lead, about 40 points. And Winterset's in 2nd place, New Hampton's in 3rd, but nobody's going to catch the leader.
Now, it isn't settled for sure at the 3A level, but Cedar Falls looks pretty good.
Cedar Falls got a big help this morning from Glenwood. Glenwood had 4 boys coming back to the wrestlebacks. And they lost in the first round, so they couldn't get to 3rd place points, and that would have made a big difference this evening. But Cedar Falls, they've done a great job. Gene Doyle's a wonderful coach down there, and he's trying to win it for only guy to win it twice in the 90s, you know.
Right, so far.
Dowling won it twice, and now he hopes to win it twice if he wins.
Thank you, Ron Seaman. I'll tell you what, it's a festive night. People here, a full house, the biggest crowd in history, and we're all ready to go. The 1998 Iowa High School Wrestling Championships from Veterans Auditorium, next on Iowa Public Television. Stay tuned.
Festival is coming to Iowa Public Television March 7th through the 22nd. This is your opportunity to experience spectacular programs like River Dance, live from New York City, all new like you've never seen before. Monty Roberts, a real horse whisperer. Ricky Skaggs and Kentucky Thunder, an old-time country music special. 8 weeks to optimum health with Andrew Weil, MD. The return of Klondike and Snow, a tale of twin polar bears. Lori Line live in our studio with a concert for Iowa. Fleetwood Mac with an In the Spotlight special. Andrea Bocelli, Romanza in concert. Join us for Festival, March 7th through the 22nd, and show your financial support for the spectacular programming you enjoy all year long here on Iowa Public Television.
Here we are again at Veterans Auditorium. Tim Johnson, I'm Doug Brown with Dean Borg and Dick Trotter, our 4 reporters, and all our other great crew from Iowa Public Television to show you this championship, which always starts every year with the grand march of the finalists, the people who are going to win the medals. Here they come, Mo Kelly.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our nation's best high school wrestling tournament, the Iowa State Wrestling Finals, bringing together 624 of the finest student athletes in our state to determine 39 champions in 3 classes of competition. The action began Thursday and concludes with the championship matches this evening. At this time, we introduce to you those who will be the top place winners at each weight and in each class. The Grand March is led by the 1998 Grand March Escort, 30-year official, Arlo Plaguey of Waverly.
Here are the young men who have finished in the top 6 places at each weight. There are 3 divisions, 1A, 2A, and 3, of course. And altogether we settled 39 different championships, Tim, here before we're done. That's just the individuals, and then we have, of course, the 3 team championships to settle. But these are the medal winners you're looking out there. These are the young men who are going to go up in the stand. Some maybe a little unhappier than others because they thought they were going to win, but they'll all, many years from now, look back and say, I was on the step.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem will be sung by a senior from Carroll Kemper High School, Mark Shampman.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free brave.
And that was the national anthem, the way they wrestle here, too. Just straight ahead and go get it. Very nicely done. Those are the young men. We'll have the wrestling in just a little bit. At this time of the year, you know, we honor some of the people who have performed so well for their schools and for the sport over the last, not just this last year, but over the last many years in many cases, along the Iowa High School Athletic Association. So Mo Kelly, when the mats are cleared, will be awarding some winners. You're going to see some people that are very well known in the sport of wrestling who were stars in this level sometime in the past. But we want to introduce you first to our floor reporters in the order we usually hear from them. First of all, old friend Dean Borg. Hi, Dean.
Hi, Doc. Great time again here tonight. I'll be on the 1A and the 2A championship match tonight. Fascinating backgrounds and records on every match. Here are just a couple of three of them. 103 pounds in 1A. Two freshmen here for the first time on the championship match. Joe Ryder of Gilbertville, Don Bosco, and Jesse Sundell of Ogden. That Sundell young man has 23 pins. He's undefeated with 36 wins. At 119 in 1A, Tony Sweeting of Highland Riverside, 42-1 against Buttress of Lisbon, 22-1. Just a couple of the interesting ones. They're interesting all night. What have you got, Dick?
Well, I don't have two freshmen, Dean, but that's something to get here at this point as freshmen. I'll be covering 2A and 3A as usual, and Luke Moffat of Esterville is going to perform tonight. He'll be going for his 88th consecutive win and his second title. Let's go back now to Doug.
Thank you, Dick Trotter and Dean Borg. Let's go to Mo Kelly in center mat.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we could have your attention, please. Many giants of the entertainment industry have sung the national anthem. Some have been pretty good, and some maybe have not been quite so good. But it took an Iowa high school senior, student athlete, a wrestler, and a football player and a singer to sing the anthem like it should be sung. How about another hand for Mark Chapman, Carroll Kemper High School. And now let's meet our Grand March escort for 1998. Arlo Flagey and his wife Marilyn. They have a daughter, they have two sons. Both sons were wrestlers in high school and collegiately. One is a licensed wrestling official. Service to youth, that's the byword for Arlo Flagey. A wrestling official, over 850 dual meets. He's been on the road many, many times each week during the wrestling season. A 40-year official. 30 years consecutively in our state meet. Number one, nobody has accomplished that feat but Arlo Flagey. And we continue to talk about service to youth. A member of his school board locally, even though his three have graduated and have gone on. Over 20 years, a member of the school board, Waverly Shellrock. And we continue to talk about service to youth. For several years now, a member of the Iowa High School Athletic Association Board of Control, helping to guide the programs, the interscholastic programs that the IHSAA is involved in. So we can certainly say again, service to youth, that's the byword for our Grand March escort, Arlo Flagey of Waverly. Another big hand for him. Time now for our induction in the Iowa High School Wrestling Hall of Fame. For several years now, the Iowa High School Athletic Association has honored former wrestlers, coaches who have done so much to promote our great sport in our great state. And we have 6 new inductees this year into the Hall of Fame. To present the plaques to the individuals inducted this evening, 2 members of the Board of Control of the Iowa High School Athletic Association, Current chairman is Jerry Stillwell, principal at Des Moines East. And also with Jerry is the vice chairman of the board at the present time, Les Dalma, superintendent at MOC Floyd Valley. Our first inductee, we're sorry to say we lost him to Indiana, but when he was in Iowa, he made quite a mark. At Osage, they had many fine teams in the early years, won a couple of state titles. However, they hit a dry spell. For 11 years, they only had one winning season, and then Bill Andrew came to be their coach. All he did over the next few years was win over 100 dual meets, 1 state championship, and 3 runner-up championships. And then, as I said, we lost him to Indiana. He went back to Purdue, where he had graduated from, to do some more educating. At the same time, he did a little coaching in Indiana, and currently he is an athletic director at a high school in Indiana. We welcome him back. He had a great record in Iowa. Bill Andrew, our Hall of Famer, and his wife, Sherry. Dean Hampel came out of Lisbon High School, and he came this close to being a rare 4-time champion. He was 4th as a freshman, but then he won 3 consecutive state championships, and you know, we still don't have too many of those, less than 50 in our long history. He went on, he competed at the collegiate level at Edinburgh, and then finished up at the State University of Iowa. He's still involved in wrestling at his hometown of Lisbon, helping with the kids' programs there and also assisting with the high school. A big hand for Hall of Fame inductee Bill Hampel from Lisbon, accompanied by his wife, Dawn. Another of our great communities with a great wrestling tradition is Cresco. They've had great success at different times during the years. This was in the late 40s, early 50s, and the Cresco team did nothing other than 2 state championships and 2 runner-up finishes. And our Hall of Fame inductee, needless to say, was an important member of those teams because he was twice a state champion and twice a state runner-up. We'd like to introduce to you from Cresco, our Hall of Famer, here Don Henry, and he's accompanied, we're happy to say, by his son this evening. And we'd like to introduce him to you also, Drew Harris. Don Henry and Drew Harris. The entire wrestling community in Iowa was saddened by the passing last May of Vern Hill. When I talk about Vern, I like to say a teacher coach, because the teaching part was just as important as the coaching part. But he did have great coaching success. He was at Hudson, he was at Webster City, he was at West Des Moines Valley, and every place he went, he had outstanding teams. Over 250 dual meet wins in his career. He battled an illness for a while, came back, struggled, and then finally yielded last May. So it was a great loss to the wrestling community in Iowa, and we're honored to have with us this evening to honor her former husband, Roxanne Jones Hill, along with son James. Our next inductee, you have a lot of material in your tournament program, so I can be very brief here and make a point. In just a couple sentences, I can tell you about our next inductee's greatness on the map. Tim Krieger came out of Mason City High School, another of our 3-time winners. In regular season competition, the last 3 years of his high school career, 1 defeat. Okay, let's move on to the collegiate side. At Iowa State University, 4 consecutive years of regular season competition, never a loss. One more thing. 4 consecutive years at Iowa State going into the NCAA tournament as a #1 seed. An unparalleled feat. From Mason City, Hall of Famer Tim Krieger, accompanied by his wife, Sarah. This is quite a thing for the Steinkamp family. Gene Steinkamp went into our Hall of Fame several years ago as a Hall of Fame coach, and now he's joined in the Hall of Fame by his son. His son was coached by Dad, and now he's been at it long enough and successful enough that he joins his father in the Hall of Fame. Dave Steinkamp came to Winthrop East Buchanan in only the 2nd year of the program's existence there. He's been there ever since, 25 plus years. Tremendous consistency, a good solid program, over 250 dual meet wins. And so we welcome him into our Hall of Fame, Dave Steinkamp of Winthrop East Buchanan, accompanied by his wife, Marilyn. All right, let's move right now into the Officials Hall of Fame. Each year, the IHSAA inducts officials from all of the various sports into the Officials Hall of Fame, and we have 2 inductees this evening that we'd like to introduce to you. They come as more or less a pair, and the reason for that is they've been paired up very long on the baseball diamond. A total of 27 years they have worked baseball as a team. However, one of them, Terry Curtis, is also a wrestling official. He's been in our state meet as an official 17 times. Terry also did a little wrestling coaching himself, and he also was principal at his high school as well as AD at the high school before he retired. Also, we'd like to mention that Marv Bell, his companion umpire, Marv at Van Horn Benton Community, was nominated a few years ago for National Journalism Teacher of the Year. So those were great feats, and we're honoring them mainly this evening, however, for their officiating over a long period of time. First of all, official Hall of Fame inductee from Van Horn Benton Community, Marv Bell, accompanied by his wife, Sherry. And from Williamsburg, Terry Curtis, accompanied by his wife, Myrna. New members in the Officials Hall of Fame. The Iowa High School Athletic Directors Association each year selects one of their members as Athletic Director of the Year, and that athletic director will go on to regional competition and then on to competition for National AD of the Year. The selectee will be presented this year with his award by members of the Athletic Directors Association Governing Board. We have with us from Oskaloosa the current president, Dave Beatty, Steve Duncan of West Des Moines Valley, the vice president, and Brian Koppas of Nevada, the secretary of the group. And they're going to present the High V Athletic Director of the Year Award to Marv Ryland of Iowa City West. He went there 7, 8 years ago, has done a tremendous job of building up the interest, the enthusiasm, and the facilities at West High. And Marv, we wish you the best of luck as you go on to regional and then national competition. Of course, you recognize Marv too in wrestling because a very successful wrestling coach, winner of some state championship teams, and then of course several years as a state tournament mat official. Our AD of the year, Marv Ryland, Iowa City West, accompanied by his wife Marlis. Now, the Iowa Wrestling Coaches and Officials Association present numerous awards to members of their group. The Coaches of the Year, the Official of the Year, Junior High Coach of the Year. And so we're going to make those announcements right now. These decisions were made earlier this week, and at this time we're going to introduce those to you. Representing the Iowa Wrestling Coaches and Officials Association, we have officers of the group. Ty Seaman of Storm Lake is the president. Scott Litterer, vice president. He's the coach at Cedar Rapids Prairie. Brett Adams of Independence. And Jim Stiard is the executive secretary of the group. Okay, the 1A Coach of the Year from Bondurant Farrar, Ken Estling. His assistants are Craig Benke and Bill Nelson. The 2A Coach of the Year from Davenport Assumption, Wade King. And his assistants, Bill Mathis, Mark Moody, and Eric Jopkin. The 3A Coach of the Year, Gene Doyle of Cedar Falls, and his assistants, Ken Gallagher, Jay Llewellyn, Jeff Gard, Jim Trainer, and Greg Helzer. And the Official of the Year, none other than Arlo Plaguey, assisted by his wife Marilyn. The Junior High Coach of the Year from Winthrop East Buchanan, Phil Steffen, accompanied by his wife Deb. And a special honor each year is the President's Award, a service award to deserving individuals. And there are 2 President's Awards to be given this evening. You've heard that phrase, clear the mats, wrestlers, clear the mats. Here's the guy that made it a trademark at our state tournament for 20-some years, Ed Winger of Urbandale, accompanied by his wife, Connie, our PA announcer during our state tournament for 20 years. Also, the Wrestling Coaches and Officials Association would like to honor Al Bestie, the wellness coordinator of the Iowa High School Athletic Association. Al has done yeoman work for not only wrestling, but all the other sports governed by the association. But in wrestling, a lot of nutritional information, also working with body fat testing, so on and so forth. He's done a great job of keeping the wrestling community informed about what's best for their wrestlers. Al Bestie, accompanied by his wife, Donna. Now we have one more thing we'd like to mention. We know that Iowa Public Television has been telecasting our high school event for 22 years and has been doing college events for many, many years as well. An announcer for Iowa Public Television on all of those years' matches has been not only a great commentator telling us the action as it unfolds, but I think a lot of you would agree with me, he's also been an educator, let's face it, a lot of us didn't know too much about wrestling, perhaps until we started watching him give the description and tell us all about this great sport. How about a big hand for the retiring Doug Brown? This is his last work as a commentator on Iowa Public Television. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do some wrestling. How about it?
Well, Doug, if people haven't heard about your retirement and this being your last telecast for Iowa Public Television, they have now.
Well, I can't keep it a secret from anybody. You know, you tell Doug Brooker, our producer, and it's all over the world.
Well, for those of you who didn't have the opportunity to see the retrospective feature that we did on Doug Brown and Iowa Public Television aired last Sunday during the Iowa State UNI telecast, you're going to get another chance. So right now, let's take a look back at Doug Brown's 27-year career with Iowa Public Television, college wrestling and high school wrestling.
Watch that referee's hand. Watch that. He did it! And it's Iowa State! Holy cow! It's an upset. Iowa State wins on a last-minute fall by Dave Ozenbaugh.
Dave Ozenbaugh's dramatic pin of Lou Bannock in 1981 solidified Doug Brown as the voice of Iowa Public Television's college wrestling.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Doug Brown.
But while many fans think of Doug this way, another legion of fans think of Doug this way.
Hello. Welcome to the book club.
As the host of the book club on WOI Public Radio, where for nearly 35 years Doug has been the station's program director, its classical music expert, and its resident storyteller.
You're the best bear in all the world, said Christopher Robin soothingly. Am I? Said Pooh hopefully.
He's one-on-one. He is your friend, and you are his. There's something going on there on the radio, and Doug Brown is talking on the radio, and he makes it work. He is glue that cements Doug as a radio producer and personality to the person that the station is trying to serve.
Who knows how it happened, but I wanted to be in radio from the time I was probably 10 or 12 years old. I can remember trying to get one of my brothers, whichever one happened to be available, to go down to the other end of the garden hose, and listen in while I did a play-by-play of something that I was making up at the time. I thought it'd be neat to be a sportscaster.
From Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City, Iowa.
Well, when I think about Doug, I think about patience, because I started 12 years ago and Doug already had 10 years under his belt and took a young buck like me under his wing and probably put up with a lot of rookie mistakes. And I think of the ultimate team player. We've never had a conflict in 12 years. He's been a great friend, a great encouragement, and consistent in every way.
Well, I've had the opportunity to work with Doug for the whole 22 years that we've been televising college wrestling, and Doug has never missed a meet. He does extensive research, incredible amounts of research, and he does his homework all the time. He has got a wry sense of humor that really keeps the crew loose. He's really enjoyable to work with. But he's just a consummate professional. He's knowledgeable, he's thorough, he's conscientious, and he's the glue that keeps the college wrestling telecast together.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your announcer, Doug Brown, and with me is Dan Gable.
Over the past 25 years, IPTV's viewers have seen the many styles and faces of Doug Brown. He's done play-by-play for swimming, gymnastics, volleyball, and yes, opera.
Good evening. Welcome to our coverage of the Des Moines Metro Opera's opening night production of Donizetti's opera Daughter of the Regiment.
Doug has been the voice of college wrestling for the entire 22 years.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Doug Brown.
And I'm Dave Hardy.
Dave Hardy was his first broadcast partner.
He really does understand the terminology. He isn't just verbalizing that like so many people might do. He has a good grasp of what he's talking about. The real plus to me was how fair he's been to the competitors. He's always remained impartial, and he's given a play-by-play of what's happening in the action, and yet still, in a very positive way, speaks highly of both competitors or institutions that he's covering, and I think that's been a real plus.
Good evening,
Doug's
everybody.
second broadcast partner was Chuck Patton.
Former coach at University of Northern Iowa. Do I dare say how many years?
No, you don't want to talk about that.
No, it was 18 years, but we won't tell that real loud.
I liked working with Doug because he was a coach. He coached me. I was really inexperienced. He was patient with me. He put me in a spot where instead of me being in a position to have to carry it, he carried me, and every now and then he'd put me in a place where I wouldn't be too embarrassed.
Wrestling fans are highly intelligent fans. They have to be. With his background, which is not a wrestling background, he didn't wrestle at all, but I think the strategies, the techniques, he typifies the broad interest of people that we have that are attracted to the sport.
And they win. That has to rank as one of the great comebacks of Dan Gable's team.
I just appreciate what he's done and what he has given in the sport of for the sport of wrestling. You know, it's something that's a true love of mine, and I know he feels the same.
He's a very shy, quiet person. That he is very unassuming. He loves books and art and literature, and I mean, he just is so much into the arts, and he loves Iowa. I mean, he just never thinks about he's on television or who he is. He's just Doug. I can't tell you what enormous satisfaction he gets from that, and he'll watch a broadcast and he'll say, you know, there's nobody that does it better than public television, and you ought to hear him pick apart any other kind of broadcast. He said, we would never do this. There's such a standard here, and it gives him great satisfaction to be able to be a part of that.
With all of Doug's professional accomplishments, what is his favorite endeavor?
Maybe the sports, you know? Because I really do like that. I'm involved. That was one of my earliest interests, you see, so I've never gotten over it.
A big one! Holy cow! That's another Krieger specialty. It's over. He pinned him. Well, not yet, actually, because we've got a lot to do.
Hey, it's fun. It's been a great run, but we're going to have a great tournament tonight.
And
a
I'll
good
tell you
time.
what, if I did let me say before we start, if I did my job right for 27 years here at the tournament and elsewhere, it's going to be a lot better next year. Okay? Because that's the way it works. That's the way it works when you do your job. Okay, let's go. We have the mats all ready to go. 3 mats, 103 pounds is where it starts. We have 6 young men here who are just jumping up and down, ready to go. They're going to wrestle for the championships of their divisions, 1A, 2A, and 3A. For the first 4 weights, according to the Iowa High School Athletic Association rotation, will be with the 2A mats. That's the middle-sized schools. And boy, right away, Tim, we see the championship team, one of their stars, Josh Watts, going for Wade King for Davenport Assumption. Assumption has rolled up a victory already in AA. Boy, they took it from day one.
And Wade King is the Coach of the Year. Wade King out of Coe College and has been at Davenport Assumption for a number of years. Really built a great program, winning it back in '95 and winning again in '98. And in the green and white right there is Trent Goodale from Osage, also a freshman. So 2 freshmen going at it, but 1 freshman that night from Davenport Assumption is 44-0 as a freshman. Goodale 31-3, not too shabby. And that's Goodale going for a takedown right there, and he gets it.
Takedown by Goodale of Osage. Forced right into him. These are the 103-pounders. The principal official, the lead official here is Rich Gray of St. Charles. He's the one out in the center of the mat. He'll have some assistants on the side. But it's a 2-minute first period, as you know, the 2-minute second period, and the 2-minute third. Now we're going to show you the other matches, 1A and 3A up in the corners. Joe Reiter from Gilbertville Don Bosco against undefeated Jesse Sundell of Ogden in the 1A at the top. And the Lamar's wrestler, undefeated Brian Hesenius against Council Bluffs Lewis Central's Chad Davis in the AAA. We'll keep an eye on those as we go.
What you're looking at here in 2A with Josh Watts and Trent Goodale are the #1 and #2 ranked wrestlers coming into this tournament in the state. #2 ranked on top right now, 2-0. Josh Watts, a freshman, 44-0, #1 ranked. And Goodale, a little bit high right here. What Watts wants to do is shake him off.
He wants to shake him out and come out the back door behind if he could. He has about 55 seconds to go, and it's not going to work because it's a stalemate. Referee calls him back off. It's Rich Gray who brings them back out again. 103 pounds at 2A. Terrific tournament by Davenport Assumption, whose man in red there is trailing here by 2 points, 2-0. Now trying to switch, power switch. Can he get his hips out? Well, he's going to go out of bounds before he does.
Well, Goodale did a nice job of casting his body back over because Watts was coming around for the switch, but Goodale just jumped his hips back over the hips of Watt there. Did a nice job.
Goodale got here by 2 close wins in the preliminaries, the first round in the quarters, and then on his 15th birthday, he got a pin over Justin McClintock of St. Edmunds of Fort Dodge in the semifinals. Here comes young man from Davenport Assumption. Watts around, but he still cannot get away. Goodale's holding him in.
Well, Goodale's doing something that the other wrestlers along the way have not been able to do. Watts winning 13-0 in his first round, 10-0 in his second round, and 10-3 in the semis. And now all of a sudden, he's running into tougher competition. And, you know, you'd expect this. The #1 and #2 ranked wrestlers in the state coming into the tournament. Here they are Saturday night going up against each other.
So 5 seconds to go here in the first period. The 2-minute first period, which started on the feet. Although Watts made the first shot, Goodale made the second one, and it counted. He took Watts down 2-0 here. And it looks like the period's going to end this way. A nice ride through the last half of the period and more, almost the entire period, by Trent Goodale. Okay,
there's Wade King there on the right hand, the coach of the year for 2A, Davenport Assumption, already the state champion coach as well.
Goodale wants to go up on his feet. He had the choice.
He didn't want to go underneath Josh Watts.
He did pretty well the first time around. Now Watts is going to have to really push it here to get those 2 points back. 2-0 in favor of the young man in white and green, Trent Goodale from Osage, a great wrestling town in history. Here comes Watts. He doesn't have the takedown yet, but there he does.
You're down, green.
So it's tied, 2-2.
In 1A, the score is 5-3 in favor of Jesse Sundell from Ogden over Joe Ryder from Gilbertville Don Bosco with 1:10 left in the second period.
At the whistle with about 1:40 to go in this 2-minute second period, Watts goes to work on top. Stunts the first move of Trent Goodale. Tries to tie up underneath. Now it's just a tight waist and a crunch on the near side, which is plenty good. You know, he's tough at it.
Go guys, just pick it up a little.
You can hear the official Rich Gray asking him to move up there, step on the gas a little bit, and a little more velocity, guys. There's a tilt, the 2-on-1 tilt for back points by Watts. He doesn't have him over yet.
Well, you can see why Goodale did not want to go underneath Watts. Watts really tough on top. He's punishing, actually, and makes himself very heavy, controls the hips, and he makes you look bad, too. Bad enough that the referee calls you for stalling, and that's just what happened to Goodale from Osage.
Trent Goodale got called for stalling.
They met once earlier this year, and Watts won 7-4 in a dual tournament. That was over a month ago, and Goodale losing 4-7.
Set.
All right, now here is Trent Goodale. 2 freshmen. Can you believe that? How much you're going to see them in coming years. These are terrific wrestlers. Here is Watts, still looking for ways to tilt. You see he's working on that 2-on-1 underneath. I'd like to hoist Goodale up and tip him over on his back in one of these tilts that the freestylers have used for years and years and years, but it's come into folk style wrestling more and more as the last 10 or 12 years has gone by, 10 or 15 years. Now he switches tactics.
Looking at three-quarter Nelson right there, trying to bring him through. He's got the leg trapped and kind of bring the head down to the knee and tuck him under there for a near fall, but he's not going to get it done. Good match in 3A, 10-7 in favor of Brad Hessenius from Lamar's over Chad Davis from Council Bluffs, Lewis Central. Very active match, 10-7 with a little more than a minute left in the match.
There's the end of the second period here at 103 pounds as we start the first weight in the high school championships for 1998. It's 2-2. Goodale takes a shot at Josh Watts of Davenport Assumption to try to break this 2-2 tie. What can happen? You see Watts with a whizzer, but I don't think he can hold it. He can't. Goodale takes him down again.
Good job on the feet right there. I bet that's one of the first times Watts been taken down twice anyway in this replay right here. The whizzer doesn't hold out because Goodale crowds those hips, goes to the torso there, crowds him, locks him up, and gets the 2 points.
When he's that close, it's just an arm hanging in there. That's all it is. It's not a whizzer anymore. And so here's Goodale riding on top. Now remember, in the first period, he got in here and he rode Watts all the way out. There's no such thing as riding time, but Watts has one little thing going for him, and that's that Goodale was warned for stalling in the second period. So Trent on top is going to have to keep active. He'd hate to make this a little closer by a penalty, but it's 4-2 with 1:10 to go. Tim, that's often happens in high schools. The good guys are not used to being on the bottom very much, and they don't know how to get out very well.
Well, we've talked about it before as we see the Coach of the Year, Wade King, right there, just taking a seat. Wade King, Davenport Assumption, going just won his second title in 4 years.
4-2 in favor of Goodale now on his feet. 4-3.
You're down, still down.
4-3. There was a point given for stalling against Goodale by the officials. Rich Gray called it. It's 4-3 now with a minute left to go. 4-3.
That's Rod Gall that we were looking at right there.
Here comes Watt. And he now has Goodale on his back in a pinning position with a lot of time left. 45 seconds. Watch it.
Well, if you're smart right there, you use this as a ride. You settle in. You don't do anything to... But Goodale will get back to his base, but he needs to move because now it's 8-4.
8-4. He got the 2 points for the reversal, made it 5-4, then 3 points for holding him in the near fall position for at least 5 seconds. What a change. We now have 25 seconds to go. Two freshmen, Josh Watts of state champion team. They've already settled it, Davenport Assumption against Osage's Trent Goodale. And it looks awfully good for Watts right now, Tim.
It really does, and we saw how tough a rider he is, but right there is not what he wants to do. He's going for a little bit more. Look at this hand!
That makes it 8-6. Reversal.
He's so close!
Back points! He's holding him in the back position. How many points did he get?
Did he get any?
If he got 2, it's tied, and they'll go to overtime. He did, I think. 8-6 by the
No, they gave no points.
8-6 red.
They gave no points.
Didn't hold him for 2 seconds. That's how close it was.
Great match.
A great match, and Josh Watts is the winner. And I'll tell you, he's like a survivor after that one.
Can't believe he tried to tilt there at the end, but you know, as a freshman, just to be out there going for the championship, 2 freshmen, great competitors.
They want to do the best. You know, they want to do what they do all the time. That's what you do when you're a freshman. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to go down for a floor report to Dean Board.
Well, in that battle of the freshmen I told you about, the winner is Jesse Sundal of Ogden. He decisioned Joe Reiter of Gilbertville Don Bosco 9-5. He was trailing after the first period, but he pulled a couple of near fall 3 points in the second period and a couple of reversals. Decisioned 9-5. Jesse Sundal is the winner in Class A at 103 pounds. Dick?
And he defeated Chad Davis of Council Bluffs, Lewis Central, 17-9. It was all the excitement one could ask for, and really wasn't decided until the third quarter. So that score, 17-9, Hessenius of Lamar's winning over the freshman Davis from Council Bluffs, Lewis Central.
Doug, those are the matches that you saw up in the corners. We're featuring the 2A matches according to the Iowa High School Athletic Association rotation. That it takes a 3-year rotation. We're featuring the 2As for the first 4 weights, and then we'll go to 3A, and then the 2A, and then the 1A, the small schools for the last 4 weights up until heavyweight, and then we'll toss them at heavyweight and see which one takes our fancy. Okay? So if you're 1A or 3A, your young man is up in the corner, and you'll be able to see what's happening even if you can't hear us talking in detail about it. Okay, now 112 pounds, Tim Johnson. Joe Glissman of Knoxville, a senior, against Adam Kramer of New Hampton up in northeast Iowa, who is a junior. Now you see they both have the black.
Circle in.
And so you're going to have to worry about who's who. The young man who has the designation on his back is actually the Joe Glissman from Knoxville.
Joe
And
Glissman.
New Hampton is the orange in the front.
Glissman is the #1 ranked wrestler in the state. He's going up against Kramer, who's ranked #6. Kramer coming all the way to the finals, only ranked 6 coming into the state tournament. Glissman living up to his reputation.
Well, that was a fascinating position. That's the kind of position you see in cartoons, you know, where you don't know whose arm is whose, but it didn't last long. Back to work again. Adam Kramer of New Hampton. He's the one down on, he's the one on his feet. Joe Glissman on the knees as we come back to the center. Again, that's Kramer on the right. He's the junior. Not much of a shot. Neither one of them had much of a shot. They're just kind of settling each other out. They have to be nervous, but by this time they're ready to start back in their own pace again. Double leg takedown by
No,
Glissman.
it's not yet.
No, he's out. We're still on.
No takedown. He threw in a whizzer right at the right time. The referees did not see a takedown there, and they're both on their feet, 0-0.
2-0. Here comes Glissman again. He's been the more offensive-minded, and he has a 2-0 lead. How about that? 2-0 after a minute and about a minute and a half of the 2-minute first period. With Tim Johnson, I'm Doug Brown, and it's Iowa Public Television's coverage live of the High School Wrestling Championships. We've been doing them since 1972, and it's a part of our winter activities in Iowa. As a matter of fact, Tim, I'll tell you what, I think if you want to know something about Iowa, you have to come to the wrestling tournament and see it. Then you know a little bit more than you knew before.
Here's the takedown. Glissman gets underneath, lifts, and takes Kramer right down to the mat there.
Man, he almost dropped him a little hard. Okay, he's on top, leading 2-0 with 15 seconds to go in the first period. Gets the leg in. Oh, he's in trouble with a headlock now.
No, but look at how he slides. Glissman keeps sliding around.
Hips are in good position.
Time, up easy.
And it's the first period over, 2-0 in favor of Joe Glissman. He's a senior. He went 37-1 coming into the tournament, and he's won 3 matches here at state.
Takes neutral.
We'll keep you up on the team tournament, team scores as we go. Davenport Assumption has 2A settle. This is the 2As you're looking at right now. And it's pretty close to Cedar Falls 3A meet. But 1A, Tim and I have been jumping up and down with excitement thinking about 1A because there are 4 teams still in it.
Kramer had a shot there. Glissman was able to do good hips right there and keep Kramer from completing the takedown. In 1A, of course, we have Scott Burns from Pleasantville and #2 ranked Jeff Harrison from Sloan Westwood. And in 3A, we have Rice Owens from West Des Moines Valley and Mark Hanglespin from Urbandale. Valley versus Urbandale, next door neighbors.
We're both up, neutral.
Here we come back up to the neutral position again.
Rick Wilson right there. Great wrestler himself from Bellman on the right. Went in high school, he was a great wrestler, and now he is the head coach at Knoxville, coaching Glissman, #1 ranked, going against #6 ranked Adam Kramer from New Hampton.
2-0. 2-0. In favor of the man who is now in a front headlock. Or something close, an underhook. That's Joe Glissman. Kramer wants to make something out of this, where the official will call him off, and he does. It's a stalemate. They go back to the center with what? 50 seconds to go in the second period. 2-0. The lead goes to Glissman.
In the 1A match, nobody's settled anything yet.
Here comes Glissman again.
Still 0-0.
He's ahead 4-0.
0-0 in the 1A match.
And in 3A, it's 3-0 in favor of Hangelsman from Urbandale with only a minute left in the second period.
Joe Glissman of Knoxville
Let's go.
has the leg in.
Glissman's been to the big dance a couple of times as a sophomore and junior, and he was 4th and 3rd. His first time in the finals.
Well, he had one shutout decision. I think you may have already said. If you haven't, here it is. He had a fall in his first go, a technical fall next, and then a shutout in his 3rd win in the semifinals. A shutout over Joe Havig of Osage to get here.
Well, he's a pinner, I'll tell you that. 23 pins out of his 41 wins. 41-1 with 23 pins. Talking about Glissman from Knoxville.
And that's Adam Kramer, into whose face you were looking there. He's a junior from New Hampton who wants to get 4 points back here in this 3rd period.
Here's a replay of Glissman coming around right there, just kind of posting and passing, coming around and hooking the leg. And you're just going to see the referee give 2 points. And that's how he got 2 of his 4.
It's interesting how many high school wrestlers here like to stay out from under. So again, the choice was to go up.
Nice action there by Kramer. It was a good idea. He was going one way, coming the other way. He got a stall call out of it, and he just kind of a little misdirection right there. He almost had it for a lateral drop or a whip over.
1A, we still have a very strong match here going between Scott Burns, who leads Jeff Harrison 1-0, Pleasantville over Sloan Westwood. And at 3A, it's 3-0 in favor of Mark Hangsleben of Urbandale against Rice Owens of West Des Moines Valley. Those are both in the 3rd period, just starting the 3rd period. Here we're at AA, and Tim Johnson, it's been a good shutout so far by Joe Glissman of Knoxville.
Yeah, he's going up against Adam Kramer from New Hampton, only a junior. And when asked what is his biggest accomplishment as a wrestler this season, he says, I haven't had it yet. Tonight. He wrote tonight. And so you love that gamesmanship. There he is, trying to, he's got the front end lock, but little shuck. Slip by action, but Adam Kramer in on the leg.
Yes,
nice though, scooting action by Glissman. He's done it all night, and he got the 2 points.
And he gets the takedown for it, says referee Dale Atchison from Urbandale, who's the head official here in this 112-pound final 1998 Iowa High School Wrestling Championships. Just underway. He's been
Go back to center, fellas.
in charge. He has a takedown in each period and leads now 6-0 over his Northeast Iowa rival.
Here's the replay right here. You think Kramer has it. All he has to do is cut across for the double leg, but he doesn't. And because he's on one leg, Glissman scoots around and hooks the leg and gets 2 points.
Now Glissman willing to take him back in his lap and see if he can maybe tilt him. He's working on that same 2-on-1 you've seen before. They learned that freestyle. These youngsters start doing freestyle when they're about 3 years old these days.
He's got the cradle lock, but Kramer's able to break it. Only 40 seconds left. Oh, here comes Kramer around. I'll tell you, he's determined, but he just can't out-slick.
Here he comes again.
Glissman, he's going to try every way. He says, oh, man, but time runs out.
Yes, Glissman had that leg in very tight, and he is now the champion of 1998, Knoxville's Joe Glissman.
4th, 3rd, and now 1.
Very nicely done, Joe. And Adam Kramer of New Hampton, he'll be back next year, and he'll be one of the favorites, I'm sure, whatever weight this one or a higher one that he goes to. 6-0 in favor of Joe Glissman. So Knoxville gets a champion. Congratulations to Rick Wilson and Joe Glissman and everybody else involved.
Congratulations to Coach Rick Wilson, and Kramer will go.
That's for
Coach reaction right there.
Up out of the chair. Is that his first champion, you think? I can't remember now. We don't have it out in front of us, but might as well be the way you feel. Okay, now in the other matches we have 1A, 47, about overtime in 1A. Overtime between Scott Burns of Pleasantville and Jeff Harrison of Sloan Westwood.
Sloan Westwood in the blue and the gold, and Scott Burns in the black and the orange, trying to become only the 2nd state champion in Pleasantville history. Ken Gordon won it in 1972 at a same weight, 112.
They went 1-1 in regulation time, Tim, and now it's a 2-minute period. First guy who scores, the first young man who scores, wins the championship at 112. This is 1A. Scott Burns of Pleasantville doing the pushing there over on the edge, but Harrison wheels around and they go out of bounds with no score. 1-1. No takedowns in 6 minutes. Now 6 minutes and 30 seconds. A minute and a half to go in the overtime. There's a leg shot by Harrison.
There's Harrison in on the leg. Oh, nice job putting the leg down by Burns.
So no takedown.
New life.
Now they go ear to ear again, Tim.
Only 25 seconds left in 3A. Still 3-0 in favor of Hangelsman from Urbandale, trying to get his 43rd win of the year against Rice Owens from the West Des Moines Valley.
And he's winning something like 14-5 over there in 3A match. Here comes Harrison in on the leg. 3-1, 3-1 I should say. If you see those scoreboards in front, that team score area down at the bottom is actually where the program number of each of the wrestlers.
Did they tie it up over there? They just tied it up to go to overtime on 3A.
Okay, so we have overtime there. And we have less than a minute to go here at 1A between Scott Burns of Pleasantville, coached by Sean Lash, and Jeff Hefferson of Sloan Westwood, coached by Chad Shook. No takedowns yet.
Oh, they're on the edge.
Out of bounds. 43 seconds to go. 1-1.
2 overtimes. Here we go.
Boy, how evenly matched can you get? And it isn't as if they're hanging back either. It's just that their defenses are good enough they can't penetrate each other, apparently. Out of bounds. And back with 30 seconds to go, Tim. If you're watching at home, any part of the state, the wrestling tournament, you just arrived, you're in time to see a lot of it because these are the second weights. We have 13 weights altogether in the championship round. 19 seconds, 18. We'll count it down for you. 15 seconds. Sloan's Jeff Harrison against Scott Burns. Burns in low on the leg, but they're out of bounds. No takedown with how much time left to go? Less than 10 seconds. We may get down to that shooting match again. TJ?
Getting close. Looks like they're going to do the old flip.
And that's one. Who gets out? If you go under, as they will, a coin flip will start it. They'll go 30 seconds. The man who is on the bottom, whoever gets his choice, goes where he wants.
Big winner up in the corner. Rice Owens comes all the way back from being down 3-0 with maybe 10 seconds left in the match. Ties it up, goes into overtime, and wins it for Valley.
And here Harrison gets his choice. It goes underneath. If he gets out within 30 seconds, he wins.
And a great start there by Burns. Gets the legs in.
And if he can hold Harrison for 30 seconds, he wins.
A
cradle.
He's got the cradle right there if he can get off. Well, that's a good start for Burns.
15
now
seconds.
He's broken it in half now. Now it's can you ride for 15 seconds, 16 to be exact.
Now this whistle is a big one.
Right, and he got
what
a good
happens
start
right off the whistle.
Time. Good start. No, good job.
Harrison's up. Harrison is not out yet.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Here he comes trying to switch. Can he do it?
No, he does. And he's going to get out for one. He's going to get out for one.
And he does.
Yes.
He's going for a fall. I think they can.
The time ran out.
The time ran out. Well, what do you know? Well, it was a big win for Jeff Harrison of Sloan Westwood over Scott Burns, and they had to go all the way to the second overtime.
To the last second.
To the last second to decide it.
What a great effort by both young men.
Yes, it definitely was.
All 3 mats at 112. Wow.
Boy, Scott Burns is going to have to be settled for the fact that he came as close as you can come.
You can't come any closer.
112 pounds. Let's see it again.
Here's a replay right here, and he's just trying to hang on. Burns is underneath there, and he's saying, can I come out and keep it cold? But no. Headlock down to the mat.
Brett Shields, Mount Air.
Okay, let's go to the award stand.
Weiland, Stanwood, North Central. 4th place, Josh Christensen, Greenfield, Nottoway Valley. 3rd place, Nick Lee, Columbus Junction, Columbus. Runner-up, Joe Ryder, Gilbertville, Don Bosco. And the Class 1A 103-pound champion from Ogden, Jesse Sundell.
Jesse Sundell, congratulations, Jesse. We'll try to get all your names out there for you in all the positions, sometimes early in the go, we have to get over to the stand, and I get to talking a little bit too much here, Tim, and we might miss a sixth placer. We'll try not to do that again. But here come the 2As up. After each weight is concluded, the weight before.
Presenting the Class 2A 103-pound awards, Coach Wade King of Davenport Assumption. Sixth place, Tom Sweeney, Council Bluffs, St. Albert. Fifth place, Justin McClintock, Fort Dodge, St. Edmunds. Fourth place, Ryan Thompson, Norwalk. Third place, Bart Meller, LaPorte City Union. Runner-up, Trent Goodale, Osage. And the Class 2A 103-pound champion from Davenport Assumption, Josh Watts.
Attaboy, Josh. Someday you'll be wondering, you'll be saying, I took all that hair off on purpose? But that won't be for another 50 years yet. Congratulations to Josh Watts. Now down go the 2As, and up at 103 pounds come the 3As, the big school wrestlers at the smallest weight in the class of 13.
Coach Tom Smalley of Lamar's. Sixth place, Cody Lohman, Johnston. Fifth place, Nick Voss, Pleasant Valley. Fourth place, Sullivan Bacom, Des Moines North. Third place, Corey Connell, Iowa City City High. Runner-up, Chad Davis, Lewis Central Council Bluffs. And the Class 3A 103-pound champion from Lamar's, Brian Hesinius.
Brian Hesinius is the winner from Lamar's. This is what happened at the end of that 1A overtime, won by the young man from. Let's go for a talk here about what happened in that 3A match to Dick Trotter.
All right, we're on right now, and in the 112-pound division in 3A competition, it went to overtime. The sophomore started out ahead, and that was Mark Hanksleben of Urbandale, but he led until the last 3 seconds of the match, and he lost to Rice Owens of West Des Moines Valley by the margin of 1 takedown in overtime. With about a minute in overtime, tremendous match. The sophomore leading early, but he lost later to the senior Rice Owens. Right now, we have a very happy young man from Davenport Assumption in Mr. Let me get squared away here. Wade King. Wade, congratulations. State championship 2 consecutive years.
Well, not consecutive, but this is our second one in the last 4, and just a tremendous effort tonight by our 103-pounder and our entire team all week.
Congratulations. You got it going down at Davenport Assumption.
We're trying.
Very good. All right, back to you, Doug.
Thank you, Dick, and congratulations to Davenport Assumption. And I think also there must be a lot of happy barbers in Davenport, too, because all the Assumption people that I know came in here with a little team spirit. Did the sort of the cue ball on the head. Okay, now we go to 119 pounds. We're still at 2A for the first 4 weights. We have we'll go to 125 with them. Dylan Long of Creston, coached by Rich Downing, against Tim Halligan of Independence. And they're set up this way. The young man on the right with more white in the uniform and the red. That's Dylan Long. I take that back. It's Tim Halligan of Independence. Dylan Long of Creston is in the black on the left.
Long ranked number 4, second last year at 103. And then Tim Halligan ranked number 2 in the state from Independence.
39-3 coming into the tournament. He's won 3 straight here, of course. And 1A and 3A are going 2 up in the corners. You see at 1A, they're still in the first period there. It's 0-0 between J.J. Butteris of Lisbon and Tony Sweeting of Highland Riverside. And at 3A, Reggie Monson of Des Moines North is wrestling Cliff Moore, undefeated from Dubuque Hempstead for the title. And it's 2-2.
Oh, Long, hey, there he's got Dylan Long. Almost had him hooked up with the cradle, but he gets the 2 points takedown, and he puts the legs in right away. Long tough. Oh, there's a neck wrench back at him. No back points, though.
Has the leg in and leads 2-0. We're in the last minute here. About 45 seconds to go in the first period.
Long, a junior, going against Halligan, a sophomore. 39 wins against 1 loss for Dylan Long. 40 wins for Tim Halligan against 3 losses.
That's enough time.
Halligan was 5th last year as a freshman at 112, and like I said,
Green, you're down.
Long
Face me.
was
Green,
runner-up
face me.
at 103.
Relax, Green. Trying to shoot.
Coaching staff from Creston, or rather from Independence.
Stay steady now,
Red
Green.
Adams in charge.
Red cover.
The referee is Mike Exline. You've seen Mike many times on Iowa Public Television's coverage as an official. He's the lead official here. The man on top, Halligan leads, Long leads by 2 to nothing. Long had a technical fall and 2 decisions coming into this final round.
Long doing a nice job of riding, following, and looking for all kinds of opportunities. He's scoring.
Oh, he's got back points, 2 of them.
2 red, near fall.
That makes it 4 to nothing in favor of Dylan Long.
You know what I liked about that call made by Exline right there, the referee, was as soon as he went to the back, he was counting. Giving the benefit of the doubt to the offensive wrestler right there, and he didn't wait so he could jump to the other side. And so good call there, good 2-point move by Long.
So a good first period for Dylan Long of Creston. It's 4 to nothing here. We go to the second period, and Long goes underneath. Halligan goes on top.
You know, to just go along with that point, it's not when the referee gets there, it's when it's happening. It's the referee's responsibility to be there when it happens. So good job by Exline.
Pretty good tight waist here by Halligan. He's preventing Long from getting any base under him. He made it to his feet for a second, but it's been tough. Now he has the hands away.
Yes, he does. He's coming up. If he can just hold the hand and break. No, nice job there, Halligan. Controlling the hips, staying on top of him, giving a good ride going in himself.
He's gone almost a minute here, about 40 seconds and better so far on top. Of course, there's no riding time, as you know, in high school as there is in college. 4 to nothing in favor of the man who's now being pushed around a little bit. And as a matter of fact, Mike Exline says you better not let him push you around that way. You can do better.
Well, it's the man with the 4-0 lead, you know, and you can't sit on it, and that's what Mike Exline says, and he calls him for stalling. Warned. Up 4-0 on the bottom, not getting out, but I'll tell you what. Here's the drive through to keep the
position. Yes.
Keep the position.
He had the advantage and almost got out, but not quite.
Set, green.
1A match is a 7 to nothing lead for Tony Sweeting over Butterus in the second period. 2A match is 6 to 3 in favor of Cliff Moore over Reggie Monson. Moore trying to stay undefeated at 3A. That's in the second period. Almost over.
Good job again here, knowing where he's at by Halligan. He knows where he has to control, and that's that hip area right there. Drives through. Now he's got that ankle drive through. Whoa! Now Long's got an opportunity because he can hip out.
With a half a minute here, maybe he can get away. He leads 4 to nothing right now.
Stalemate.
But maybe he can't. So Mike Exline says it's a stalemate. Neither of you can improve your position. Let's start over. 4 to nothing.
Both men now have
that young man there, as you see on top, even though he's controlling the position right now, he's trailing by 4 points. Long got to his feet quickly.
Look at that, look at that. Oh man, he comes through, good hips again, but here comes Halligan back on top. And man, what great action. Wow, that's great action by both wrestlers.
That could have gone either way, but Halligan has controlled it, but
yes,
still, again, he's behind by 4.
Behind by 4, but he's got the opportunity now to go underneath, make some things happen. Here's a scramble. You think, whoa, here comes Long. He's going to drop him. But no, here comes Halligan back over the top. And is he going to get him on his back? No, Long comes back.
Last period.
Okay, last period. Now the choice here is going to go.
There's Rich Downing. Rich Downing, the coach of Creston. Dylan Long's coach on the right there with the tie.
Halligan gets his choice, and he's going to start down. He's going to try to get out, get a point back, and maybe get somewhere close to that 4 points he needs to make up.
Well, he's got to keep moving right now. He's got to keep going. We know that both wrestlers can ride. In fact, this whole match has been one wild ride.
Boy, Long is in him with a leg now. Now he's making it tough. You see in the 1A match there was a near fall just about occurred.
Third period, and the score is 9 to 8.
How about that? It was 7-0 a while ago.
Scores 9-8 in favor of J.J. Butterus from Lisbon over Tony Sweeting from Highland with
was
45
behind.
seconds left. And
Butterus
in
was
3A,
behind by 7.
And in 3A, it's 8-3 in favor of Cliff Moore from Dubuque Hempstead over Reggie Munson. Moore, the defending champion, 34-0, going for his second championship against Reggie Munson from Des Moines North. Ahead 8-3 with 20 seconds
down
left.
close to a minute here in the 2A match we're featuring here. The first 4 weights are 2A in our schedule. And Long is really putting it to him. He's managed to stay in the top position with a 4-0 lead.
Well, and the thing about it is, Halligan's doing a good job of moving. He has nothing to be ashamed of. He's just up against a great rider right here.
Long, remember, was warned for stalling.
Here's
that was the throw.
Takedown, throw for no points, but it actually led to the takedown.
Red, put it on.
He had to keep him for 2 seconds. That was a good piece of action there. Couldn't get back points without it. Now we're 45 seconds away from the end. 4-0 in favor of the man on top, the man in the black uniform. Dylan Long of Creston, who's ahead 4-zip over Tim Halligan. 119-pound 2A championship.
Look at Long go. I mean, I'm impressed because on the top he said, I'm going to go for it. He got 3 more. He's going to make it 7-0, and he's going to make it a runaway.
He has held his man's shoulders in a pinning position, near fall for better than 5 seconds.
And over here on 1A, we had an overtime and we had a win. Tony Sweeting in overtime beats J.J. Butters with a takedown.
After a terrific comeback by Butterus.
And Cliff Moore won his second championship at 3A.
And this one is over too. The winner by a shutout decision is Dylan Long of Creston, 7-0. Happy coach Rich Downing and his assistant. There he is. Dylan Long, he's a junior. He'll be back again. Let's go to the award stand for the 112-pound awards.
Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the award stand at the east end of the auditorium. Presenting the Class 1A 112-pound awards, Coach Chad Shook of Sloan Westwood. 6th place, Keith Payton, Wapsie Valley Fairbank. 5th place, Brady Johnson, Lake Mills. 4th place, Nick Maroff, Columbus Junction. 3rd place, Tyson Christensen, Lenox. Runner-up, Scott Burns, Pleasantville. And the Class 1A 112-pound champion from Sloan Westwood, Jeff Harrison.
The winner in a terrific match. They went all the way to the end of the second overtime before Harrison got the win. So you can imagine the reason for the second place winners being a little pensive. He'll feel better tomorrow, I think, maybe, although would like to be the champion himself. They both deserve it. That's the 2A division. Now that's the 1A division. Let's look at 2A now at 112
Presenting the
pounds.
Class 2A 112-pound awards, Coach Rich Wilson of Knoxville. 6th place, Dustin Bliven, Louisa Muscatine Letts. 5th place, Joe Habig, Osage. 4th place, Adam Hutchinson, Mediapolis. 3rd place, Brad Howard, Waterloo, Columbus. Runner-up, Adam Kramer, New Hampton. And the Class 2A 112-pound champion from Knoxville, Joe Glissman.
Joe Glissman. Looked tough out there tonight, Joe. Go back to Knoxville, 112 pounds. That's a nice thing about this sport. You can be 112 pounds or 103 and you can go down the street and you're number 1.
That's right.
You know, that's the thing about it, no matter what your size is. Joe Glissman, that's the 2A. Now let's go to 3A.
Presenting the Class 3A 112-pound awards, Coach Travis Young of West Des Moines Valley. 6th place, Eric Schmidt, Charles City. 5th place, Louis Fisher, Dubuque Senior. 4th place, Luke Richardson, Pleasant Valley. 3rd place, Tony Brown, Iowa City, City High. Runner-up, Mark Honsleben, Urbandale. And the Class 3A 112-pound champion from West Des Moines Valley, Rice Owens.
Congratulations, Rice of West Des Moines Valley. Let's go to Dean Borg for a floor report. Dean.
Doug at 119 pounds in single A, J.J. Buttress of Lisbon trailed Tony Sweeting of Highland Riverside through most of his match. But right at the end, he did tie it up, and they went 9-9 at the end of regulation. 15 seconds into the overtime, though, the Buttress, being the aggressor, got caught shooting for a takedown. He got put over on his back, and he lost the decision to the champion, Tony Sweeting of Highland Riverside. The decision was 11-9, Buttress the loser. Dick?
Being in 3A competition at 119 pounds, Cliff Moore has won his second consecutive title as he defeated Reggie Monson of Des Moines North 8-4. And there you see Moore, who wrestles for Dan Dunham, who's been at Dubuque Hempstead 29 years, as Cliff Moore wins his second consecutive title last year at 112. Let's go to Doug now.
He's a very tough young man, 112 pounds, undefeated this year, because Munson of Des Moines was very good wrestler, and it was a terrific victory to get that second championship. Well, we're going to stay with the 2As, we said, through the 125-pound class, the first 4 weights before we go to the 3As, and so here we are at 125. Andy Thompson of Clear Lake, undefeated, going against Jesse Zobek of Cresco, the famous wrestling town in north-central Iowa, northeast Iowa. Cresco, Crestwood. Jesse Zobek against Andy Thompson.
Number 1 versus number 2. Andy Thompson, ranked number 1, 37-0 from Clear Lake, coached by Gary Weber. And number 2, Jesse Zobek, 37-2 from Cresco, coached by Keith Carmen.
He's in the blue. Nice shot by Andy Thompson, but he couldn't get the takedown. Thompson, that man right there, is undefeated.
There's Keith Carmen on the right. These guys met before. You know what it went to?
What?
Overtime this year. The only loss. The only loss that Zobek has from Cresco was an overtime 3-1 loss to Andy Thompson earlier in the year. So here we go again. Number 1 versus number 2.
Well, you can see they're 2 different physical types. Sometimes you don't see it quite so much in high school as you do in a little older, and in the tour even more. But it's a rangy Andy Thompson in the black uniform on the left, the black singlet. And Jesse Zobek, a little stockier in the blue on the right.
Well, they both ran around the block. Thompson was 4th as a freshman, 6th as a sophomore, and 3rd as a junior. Here he is making a statement. He said, you know, what was your biggest accomplishment as a wrestler? You just heard me say he was 4th, 6th, and 3rd, and he said, getting through the semifinals. Last night, the first time he's won on Friday night. Now look at that, single leg, in through the hips, takedown.
You might have called it a high crotch start, but it was only just a nice head outside single. He just reached and got the leg and took it with him. And he leads 2-1 now after the escape. 2-1 in favor of Andy Thompson with about 38 seconds to go in the first period. Thompson from Clear Lake, Jesse Zobek from Cresco Crestwood, both Northern Iowa schools.
Last year they met, and it was switched around. Zobek won against Thompson, so they're 1-1 in career. And this is the rubber match right here. We got a great Clear Lake cheering section behind us, and they really have it going in Clear Lake. Gary Weber as the coach, great crowd support. You go to a dual meet there, and the gym's rocking.
Did you mention that Thompson got to the finals with 3 pins? Andy Thompson, 244, 542, and 138. He cradled Nick Kilberg of Grinnell in 1:38 in the semifinals. So he stormed into the finals this year, trying to cap an undefeated season. That's Andy. Jesse Zobek had 3 decisions, but none of them were close in the final score. He beat Mike Elliott of Mount Vernon, another senior, to get into the championship round. Jesse Zobek. So it means a lot to both of them. This is their last chance.
It sure does. Gary Weber, the coach of Andy Thompson, said he's never been flat. He always is prepared and ready to go. 12-month-a-year wrestler, and he's a school record holder in pins, wins, and takedowns.
In the 1A match with 1.5 minutes to go in the second period, it's 1-0 in favor of Tom Fitzer of Wilton, whose team is going for the championship. He's the Wilton man in the finals. He's one of 2 Wilton men in the finals. His team is in 4th place, and he has to win to give his team a chance.
That's right.
He's 1-0 over Chris Werneman of Pocahontas. At 3A, it's Solomon Hughes of Muscatine, trailing Kentrell Galloway of undefeated from West Waterloo East, 8-0 with 1 minute and about 12 seconds to go in the second period. So it's a big rush here for Kentrell Galloway of Waterloo East, coached by Steve Nipp at 3A. Here it's 2-2 now. 2-2.
There's Keith Carmen again, great story, 1980 state champion for Cresco. So he's back at his alma mater as the coach now, trying to get a state champion individual all the way home here in his wrestler.
Thompson tried that
Jesse
shock
Zobek
again, but Zobek's a little bit too well set for that. He wasn't going anywhere. And they come back to the center with less than a minute to go in a very active first period. 2-2 between these two old rivals. Two-on-one tie up, the Russian tie-up. That's become very popular, hasn't it, Tim? That two-on-one setup by an offensive maneuver. So somebody on top. 30 seconds to go. It is a second period. The clock was not showing the first period is over, but it is. It's actually the second period here, as you know, I'm sure.
As we look at 2-2 here, I've talked about the Clear Lake program there, and it's always great to see tradition go and be carried on. But Clear Lake broke the school record for wins this year, and they were conference champs.
Zobek has the leg. Can he keep it? They were sparring very well out there. Zobek has a knack for staying in front of his man. You know, he doesn't let Thompson get around him, even though Thompson has a lot of reach.
There's Gary Weber right there, head coach.
Third period, 2-2.
Sometimes we talk about not be able to get kids out. He's got 41 kids out for the program. Good, strong leadership from assistant coaches Mike Rysak and Eric Perry.
All right, Zobek has one warning, and Thompson has the 1-point escape, and he leads 3-2.
In single A up there in the corner, #1 ranked Chris Wernemont is
here comes Thompson
behind,
and he gets a takedown and goes up by 3, 5-2. That's an important one because it makes a 3-point lead and not a 2.
Tom Fitzer from Wilton leading 6-0 with a minute left in the entire match in 1A right there, trying to keep Wilton in the hunt for a
Zobek is out. He's down by 2 with a minute and 20 to go. He needs a takedown to tie. Zobek in the blue from Cresco Crestwood against Andy Thompson.
In 3A, no doubt, 13-1. Kentrell Galloway from Waterloo East ahead of Solomon Hughes from Muscatine. Going to have an undefeated record if nothing goes wrong. He's got 1 period to go, but he's up 13-1.
Certainly hasn't been going wrong at this meet. He's looked good all the way. Zobek trying to go under again with that high crotch fireman carry position, but even though he has the upper arm in a nice tight lock, he's not been able to control the leg.
There's the last takedown right here by Andy Thompson to put him up 5-3.
45 seconds. Now he's in on a low single.
Zobek is.
But Thompson's too long. Well, he brought it in. Looks like Zobek's got a chance here, but he needs 2 points to tie.
He's got to keep bringing it in there. He's got to get his hips under, bring it up. He can't sit. They're going to call it a stalemate.
So now he has 27 seconds to go.
Gene Luttrell, the referee, gives him a stalemate sign, and they go back
outside. Not making it. 20 seconds to go. The man in blue needs 2 points to tie. Tries a headlock. Well, he just had to try it, and Thompson goes up by 4. 7-3 now for Andy Thompson of Clear Lake. He's beginning to look like he's going to end this season undefeated. Lets his man go. 7-3, 7-4.
Tom Fitzer wins there up in 1A for his coach Steve Shirt.
And here, Andy Thompson wins after an undefeated season, a championship for Clear Lake. And his coach, Gary Weber. He beat a terrific wrestler, Jesse Zobek of Cresco. Cresco Crestwood. Let's go to 3A because we still have about a minute to go over here.
No, it's over. Tech Fall, 19-2. There's
Right.
the first one we've seen tonight, Tech Fall. You don't see many of those in the state finals.
Nope.
Kentrell Galloway, East Waterloo, caps an undefeated season going 33-0.
That happens at Tech Fall when you get 15 points better than your opponent. So they stop it right there, match termination. Let's go to the award stand for 119 pounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the award stand area at the east end of the auditorium. Presenting the Class 1A 119-pound awards, Coach Jeff Weiland of Highland Riverside. 6th place, Andy Bieber, Mobile Woodbury Central. 5th place, Damon Bourne, Wilton. Fourth place, Eric Hinchberger, Belle Plaine. Third place, Shane Clauser, Gilbert. Runner-up, J.J. Butteris, Lisbon. And the Class 1A 119-pound champion from Highland Riverside, Tony Sweeting.
Tony Sweeney being congratulated by his coach, who just handed him the medal. From Highland Riverside, Tony Sweeting. Standing up on that top rung, can't beat it. You can't beat it. So now the 2A, the 1As go down, the 2As come up. This is 119 pounds. When we get back to wrestling again, we'll be at 130, and we'll go to the larger schools.
Class 2A 119-pound awards. Coach Rich Downing of Creston. Sixth place, Taylor Wood, Sheraton. Fifth place, Kurt Morgan, Eagle Grove. Fourth place, Dustin Dunton, Tama, South Tama County. Third place, Kyle Cunningham, Forest City. Runner-up, Tim Halligan, Independence. And the Class 2A 119-pound champion from Creston, Rich Downing. Dylan Long.
Happiest
Dylan
man
Long,
on the high rung there.
Yes, Dylan Long. Rich Downing is his coach. They announced him as the champion.
Well, he is, you know, let's face it. They'll remember that too someday. Dylan Long is the champion. We're going to go to the next weight, the next higher division, the 3A, the bigger schools, for their 119-pound top six.
Class 3A 119-pound awards. Assistant coach Bill Herter of Dubuque Hempstead. Sixth place, Aaron Groves, Newton. Fifth place, Gabe Katz, Indianola. Fourth place, Jeremy Hendricks, Marshalltown. Third place, Zach Fitting, Fort Madison. Third place, Reggie Monson, Des Moines North. And the Class 3A 119-pound champion from Dubuque Hempstead, Cliff Moore.
How about that? Cliff Moore, undefeated, two-time champion. Let's go to Dean Board.
Class A, 125 pounds. The champion is Tom Pfizer of Wilton. He decisioned and dominated the match over Chris Wernemat of Pocahontas, decisioning him 8-1. Dick.
Beating AAA, Cantrell Galloway of East Waterloo had no trouble as he eliminated Solomon Hughes of Muscatine in a technical decision by 15 points or more with 57 seconds left in the match. That's 125-pound state champ in Class 3A. Doug?
Dick, thank you, Dick and Dean. If the sound truck hasn't come through your neighborhood in the last 10 minutes to tell you, let me tell you right now that you're watching the Iowa High School Wrestling Championships from Betts Auditorium in Des Moines live. Now we're going to 130 pounds, and the 3As will go through the next 4 weights. Then we'll join the 1As for 4 weights, and the heavyweight will be something we'll make up our minds to when we get there. 130, well, I'll tell you, Tim, you get to see an iron side here, the latest of the iron sides.
There's
Arlo Flegge.
Referee of the year, Arlo Flegge, and speaking of Ironside, it's the last of the Ironsides as we know him. The last Tim Ironside, younger brother of Mark Ironside, and you're going to see a lot of similarities.
Well, he got into the finals with a stunning pin of the favorite at the weight from Cedar Falls. He was behind something like 6-0 at the time, and he won. Corey Tarczynski of Davenport West is his opponent, coached by Gene Bells. And here they're going at it at Veterans Auditorium for the 3A 130-pound title.
Well, Ironside keeps coming after you, and last night he did jump, he did fall behind 6-0, but he fought back, brought it close, and then pinned Sinclair from Cedar Falls, who had pinned him twice, who had pinned Ironside twice this year, so it was quite a turnaround.
And in fact, Ironside was on his back in the first period of that match and got out, and it was a stunning reversal. There were some matches in that semifinal round last night that were that way.
In the 1A matchup, that's Justin Stanley. We featured him in the first part of the program. He has a chance to become the winningest wrestler in the history of Iowa wrestling up there from Wilton. And if he wins, by my calculations, that'll put Wilton ahead in the team race. They are now with 58 points tied with Postville, just 1 point behind Bondurant, Farrar, and Columbus Junction. So it's really tightening up after Fitzer's win. Just a way to go. So if Stanley wins up there in 1A, as he goes against Casey Baxa from Lisbon, it would put Wilton in the lead. In 2A, we have Cole Pape from Macokota going against Garrett Kurth, number 2 ranked wrestler from Waukon.
Here's Tarczynski of Davenport West against Ironside of Cedar Rapids Jefferson. I'll tell you, the name Boxa at Lisbon is a name from my childhood. I think I probably went to school with one of his grandparents. Back in the Prairie days, you know.
Got the near side cradle right here. That's 2
Ironside.
points. Ironside's got the near side.
Trying to hoist his man over. Between periods, we'll show you the team standings for 1A, because that's a real race. Wilton, you know, started out in 4th place coming into the finals tonight, but they had, as Tim said, they had 2 men, and they may both win, and that would really make it. Boy, what a race that would make it, huh?
Ironside here, he was a state qualifier in 1996, 5th in 97.
Here are the standings right now. That's where they stand. Look at that. 4 teams,
What a race.
point apart.
That's the best I've ever seen. Look at that. Halfway, not even halfway through the finals, and we've got 4.
Each man
right there. Everyone has a wrestler left, too. Every one of those teams has one wrestler left.
Circle in there.
The Wilton's wrestler left is the one that's in there right now. Okay, we're at a score of 2-1 here in favor of the man in black. That is Tim Ironside. 2-0 in favor of Tim Ironside of Cedar Rapids Jefferson. As we start the 2nd period, they started on their feet. Corey Tarczynski's in the light uniform, and Tim Ironside in the black.
Circle.
It's Arlo Flegge. How many times in his life do you think Arlo Flegge has said circle? A lot. Over 40 years.
1A, it's 5-0 now for Justin Stanley from Wilton. There's Dick Briggs, Cedar Rapids Jefferson, longtime coach, and very excited. He called the win last night by Tim Ironside probably the highlight of his career.
There was a missed headlock by Tim Ironside. I wishes he had that one back, because Corey Tarczynski just tied the score 2-2. In freestyle, that's okay, but in folk style, you're taken down after that, and it's Tim Ironside on the bottom. Corey Tarczynski is even up.
In 2A, with a minute left in the 2nd period, it's 2-2 between Pape and Kurth.
Now Ironside is out. That makes it 3-2. Takedown for the Jefferson wrestler, Tim Ironside. Yes, he's related, of course, to the Ironside at the University of Iowa.
Younger brothers.
Younger brother. Front headlock by Ironside, leading by 1. Half a minute to go. Tried the shuck with it. Throw his man by. Couldn't make it count. Now he's back to the headlock again. He's controlling this pretty well, but he's only ahead by 1. That's him with the underhook. He'd like to pancake his man with that if he could. The Wizard, that overhook with the arm back, that's what Tarczynski's fighting him off with.
Doing a pretty good job right there, fighting him off. But Ironside steps in over. He hasn't got it hooked yet.
No, he hasn't.
Break.
Again, we're looking at, in 1A, we're looking at Justin Stanley, who wants to become the winningest wrestler in the history. Right here's the slip headlock
that was the missed headlock.
And that gave Tarczynski the 2 points that he has on the board. Going back to
3rd period, by the way. Tim will set this up first, 3-2, and then we'll go. Ironside on top, leads by 1.
There's Stanley in the blue from Wilton, going to become, if he holds the 7-1 lead, the winningest wrestler in the history of Iowa high school wrestling, eclipsing Jeff Filer from West Des Moines Dowling, his record of 174 wins, which he holds with him right now. He's tied with him, but he's going to try to win a state championship and go to the top of the heap. Justin Stanley.
Has the arm bar.
Whoa.
Nelson,
oh, boy, I'll tell you.
Tarczynski right
That's
to his
be
back.
Tight, and he has got it close. He's got the chin, driving it through. And he's got a minute and 15 seconds to do it. He just has to settle in.
Has to keep it there for a count of 2. It's different from college. No, it's 1 second there, but here it's 2. Now he's in tight with a headlock. It's a headlock position now. Arlo Flegge trying to call it. 3-2 lead for Ironside with a minute to go, and he's trying to pin Tarczynski.
Oh, he gets out. Great fight by Tarczynski, because that was tight by Ironside right there. Ironside goes up.
3 points for near fall, of course, makes it 6-2. He started out in top. He was in the top position, and he didn't catch him in any way. He just horsed him right on over.
Boy, that was a big fight off the back by Tarczynski.
Wasn't it? Corey Tarczynski of Davenport West.
Take it back, take it back, take it back.
On the edge. 20 seconds to go in this match at 3A, 130 pounds. Here's let's look at him force him over.
Woo. Okay, set, move
See him
on.
trap the chin. And man, I'll tell you, Tarczynski had to work to get out of there, and he did. Ironside on top, still leads by 4.
See,
we're down to 10 seconds.
Right now, and if Stanley holds this lead, he gets an extra point for the team. That's a big point, and I'll tell you about it later.
It's up at 1A. Here's Ironside. On top all the way to the third period. He got a very big move in there. Not a cutie pie either. It was a horse move. He just forced Tarczynski right over on his back. And Ironside wins 6-2, a state champion for the Ironsides. Again, another little medal to put up there on the wall.
And there you see Justin Stanley has just become the all-time winningest wrestler in the history of the sport in Iowa. And he did some. There's Briggsy's reaction. Coach Dick Briggs for Tim Ironside's big win right there. There's Steve Shirk and and his assistant coach giving Justin Stanley a big hug. Justin won 10-1 or 11-1.
So we're still going on the 2A mat with a half a minute to go. And this is Garrett Kurth against Cole Pape of Maquoketa. Garrett Kurth of Waukon. And the lead belongs to Cole Pape, who is he had 9 losses coming into the state meet, but boy, he's gotten tough here. And Garrett Kurth, 40-1 of Waukon, is trailing by 2. It's Kurth on the left trying to make up 2 points. He's the one with the underhooks. Trying to throw anything to get the points with about 15 seconds to go. He's the one in orange. Garrett Kurth. He was probably the favorite, no doubt, in this coming into this match. Back to the center. Maquoketa's Cole Pape. Garrett Kurth of Waukon trailing by 2. Not time left.
Big win.
Big win for the young man from Maquoketa.
9 losses, and he wins when he needs to.
That's the kind of thing that makes state tournament interesting. How about that? His coach is Jeff Tamper. This is at 130 pounds. There are the champions at 125, 1A.
125-pound awards. Assistant coach Denny Bourne, also the wrestler's uncle of Wilton. 6th place, Robert Swope, Oakland Riverside. 5th place, Casey Conover, Holstein Galva-Holstein. 4th place, Matt Pruin, Mason City Newman. 3rd place, Adam Seaman, Woodward Granger. Runner-up, Chris Werneman, Pocahontas area. And the 125 1A champion from Wilton, Tom Fitzer.
Attaboy, Tom. Tom Fitzer, he was #1 ranked throughout the year, and he's the champion. Like to see Dan McCool come through with these predictions, you know, from the register. He follows the sports. Makes a lot of those ratings as the year goes on. 1A. Now 2A. By the way, we were just looking at Tim, and Cole Pape, the young man from Maquoketa, 9 losses, a learning year. He's a freshman. How about that?
Coach Gary Weber of Clear Lake.
Well, we'll talk about in a second.
Let's go to 2A
6th
here.
place, Mike Elliott, Mount Vernon. 5th place, Keith Pearl, West Liberty. 4th place, Nick Kilberg, Grinnell. 3rd place, Shane Heinold, Clarinda. Runner-up, Jesse Zobek, Cresco Crestwood. And the Class 2A 125-pound champion from Clear Lake, Andy Thompson.
Andy Thompson, undefeated year, a championship for Clear Lake. A lot of fun when you're on that top lung, as we say. Okay, now we have the AAAs to show you. AAA championships, the top 6 places at 125 pounds.
Presenting the Class 3A 125-pound awards, Coach Johnny Galloway, who's the assistant coach and also the wrestler's father. 6th place, Tom Aarons, Fort Dodge. 5th place, David Brown, Lamar's. Fourth place, Chris Keller, Indianola. Third place, Ryan Heim, Dubuque Hempstead. Runner-up, Solomon Hughes, Muscatine. And the Class 3A 125-pound champion from Waterloo East, Kentraw Galloway.
Terrific year for Kentraw Galloway, undefeated and a champion at 125 pounds in 3A. Let's go to Dick Trotter for a floor report. Dick?
In 130-pound Class 2A, you don't expect it. This time, the freshman defeated the senior. And there you see Cole Pape of Maquoketa with his 6-4 victory over Garrett Kurth of Waukon. Great match. Now let's go to Dean Borg.
And what you're looking at here is the all-time winningest high school wrestler in the state of Iowa. He's Justin Stanley of Wilton. He just won his 175th match in defeating Casey Baxa of Lisbon, decisioning Casey 11-1. Congratulations. I mean, what an achievement. Did you ever think, as you started out, was an objective to become the winningest wrestler, or was it just one by one?
Well, I started out, I always had my brother to look up to. I just kept, he always, he showed me the winning ways. And
he was a state champion, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Did that help you?
Oh, extremely. He taught me, how to get your mind in it and what it takes to be a champion. And I followed him up, and he's the one that's really helped me a lot.
Congratulations to you. You had to be pretty injury-free in order to do this, and you've had a great career. Congratulations. The state champ at 130 pounds in Class A, Justin Stanley of Wilton. Back to Doug.
He did a lot for his team too, Dean, and we're going to see how much here very shortly when we figure out the scores. He was the second of the two Wilton finalists to win, and they had to both win to keep him in it.
And he not only kept them in it, he's put them in a real good position. We'll see that when those standings come up here later. But right now we've got a good one here at
135, 3A. 135 pounds for the 3A through the middle four weights. Brandon Livengood of Decorah against Scott Schober of Manchester, West Delaware. Now Decorah is in the light blue, and the Huskies of Manchester, West Delaware are in the multicolored uniform there.
This is a district rematch right here, and Scott Schover lost 3-0 to Brandon Livengood in the districts, but it was 1-0 with a few seconds left. He just tried something and he gave it up to takedown, so these guys know each other well.
0-0, we are just a few seconds into the first period. That's the West Delaware man in black. Scott Schover, coached by Jeff Voss. Doug Manley of Akron is the official, by the way, the lead official out in the center of the map.
Up in 1A, we've got Tim Corey for Bondurant Farrar, undefeated, pinned his way all the way to the finals up against Kirk Nelson from Nashua Plainfield. And if Corey gets a pin here, he goes a long way in winning the championship for Bondurant Farrar. There's Roger Williams on the left, and he's Decorah's head coach.
Well, Bondurant Farrar is one of 3 teams left besides Wilton with right in that race, and they are all now getting their first chance to wrestle. Bondurant Farrar is in for this is their only man in the finals.
If Corey wins for Bondurant, just a regular win, they tie Wilton for the lead. If he gets anything extra, they go ahead.
So it's a big deal. It really is here. That 1A race is unbelievable. 0-0 here with less than 30 seconds to go at AAA. Brandon Livengood in the light uniform on the left against Scott Schover of West Delaware. 32-5 coming into the meet, but he's doing extremely well this year, both of them. And obviously evenly matched. Have they met this year before? Do we know? I don't think they have, Livengood and Schover.
Yeah, that was the district rematch.
The district
they
rematch.
Just met last week. It's 3-0. Livengood won. Well, there is the big throw by Corey, and if he gets it done, now there, look at this, 4 points.
You get 4 points if you win.
And Wilton got an extra point to put him 4 points ahead, so that keeps him alive. But if Bondurant Farrar gets anything extra, and Corey's doing a job already out by 5 points, they'll vault ahead of Wilton, because they get 4 for a regular, and then if they get a major, an extra point. And already,
or a pin to get 2.
Yeah, and already we have Corey up by 5 points.
Here's the first score, just beginning in the second period. It's 1-0 now in favor of Livengood of Decorah. He just made the escape. from Scott Shover, and that makes it 1-0. 1-0.
And a week ago it was 1-0 until a few seconds left, and then Living Good ended up winning 3-0. In 2A, you see Luke Moffitt, #1 ranked, going against #2 ranked John Garvin.
They're both undefeated over there on the 2A mat.
Moffitt from Esterville, Garvin from Davenport Assumption.
And Assumption has it wrapped up. Okay, coaches get excited too, as you know. If you ever had a youngster, as you probably know, in one of these matches, you suddenly find you wear yourself out just watching them. Living Good 1 and Shover 0. Here's Living Good is doing the shooting. He's not in, but it's still 1-0, the same as it was in the district final, as Tim said. Tim Johnson with Doug Brown and the Iowa Public Television crew. Really our 27th year of covering state tournament wrestling in Iowa since 1972 when it came back for Des Moines for good. Living Good in the blue leads by 1.
Good basic wrestler.
Come on, guys.
And he's been here before, 96, 97. Now there on the right is Jeff Voss. He's the coach for Scott Shover from Manchester. Been there for several years. Scott Voss has been there as the head coach for 3, but the assistant for 4 before that, 7 years at West Delaware, Manchester. He was Scott Litterer's assistant. There he is, right there in the foreground. Something's
injury up on the 1A mat.
And that's
the man.
That's Corey for Tim Corey for Bondurant Farrar.
So that could maybe be an unforeseen problem for them. We'll see if he's ready to come back full strength, because they need the extra point, as you said.
Still 1-0 in our feature match right here between two young wrestlers that know each other well. Met last week in the district finals.
Go, guys.
Living Good got into the finals with 3 decisions. And Shover got in with a technical fall and 2 close decisions. So
right here, warning.
There's a warning against the man leading 1-0, Living Good. So he's going to have to get active here. We're right at the very end of the second period at Veterans Auditorium in Des Moines. So now we go to third period, 1-0 in favor of Living Good. Cedar Falls leads Glenwood by 9. We haven't seen any Cedar Falls wrestlers yet, I don't believe, but there are some coming up. Some coming up.
And this one's still not out of reach for Glenwood, but the 2A is locked up. Davenport Assumption has won it. Coach Wade King with his second championship in 4 years. Living Good on top here, riding Shover from Manchester, who does a little Granby rollout, but Living Good comes around, follows him.
Still has him, but he couldn't keep him. So now it's 1-1, and we're going to go on our feet here to see who can win this championship in the last minute and a half. At 135 pounds, 3A, the big schools here, the bigger schools in the state. Living Good of Decorah 1, Shover 1. 1 more point than Shover had in the district. So things are looking up for him already. Now it's 1-1.
Going to come down to the last takedown there, 1 minute and 20 seconds left in the last period. Whoever gets the takedown this time, and he wasn't able to last time, Living Good got the only takedown to win the meet.
They go ear to ear for a while. Tie up tight. Go back to the center again.
Boy, if you're up there in the top corner, that Tim Corey loves to go for the fall. And he is on his way to putting Bondurant Farrar alone at the top in 1A.
He's leading by 6, I see.
Out of the 59 points scored by Bondurant Farrar, 47 of them have been scored by Corey's.
Nice leap around here behind by Living Good, but he has to score with it. Can he? He can. 2-0 in favor of Living Good. He scored to win in the last district final, as you said, 2. He's ahead 3-1. Now we have 39 seconds, 38 seconds to go. All important for Shover to get out, as he's down by 2. He's not going to have much luck down there. 20 seconds to go. Boy, Living Good has him right where he wants him. That's potentially dangerous, says official Doug Manley.
Here's the takedown right here. Drives through, has the ankle, driving through for the 2 points. Living Good.
That's right, it started with a low single. He jumped around behind, actually, and started from the rear. Drives Shover into the mat. Living Good up by 2 with 5 seconds.
He's going to do it again. 3 points is enough for Living Good twice in a row.
He got the only takedown at the district level and at the state final level.
Let's go.
The AAA champion at 35 pounds in 1998. Live as you watch it from Betts Auditorium in Des Moines on Iowa Public Television. Brandon Livengood of Decorah, the winner.
Up in 1A, there's only 20 seconds left, and he's got a 9-point lead, and if he holds that 9-point lead, Bondurant Farrar will get an extra point. But if Nelson can come out and score 2, it'll leave Bondurant tied, but there's 9 seconds left. What a great job by Corey here to give his team the lead by 1 over Wilton. Wilton can't respond. The only ones that can are Columbus and Postville.
And there it is. Bondurant Farrar takes
to the lead. Takes to the lead.
Tim Corey. We were watching the awards to the Bondurant Farrar coach, Ken Essling, for the Coach of the Year, and he had assistants. One of those assistants I was going to mention at the time, you may have heard a name go by that was famous. Name was Bill Nelson, retired national champion wrestler from the University of Northern Iowa. Actually, it was Iowa State teachers at the time. He was tough, and he's been helping out in the wrestling room, and I'm sure that Ken Essling is happy to have him. Tim Corey of Bondurant Farrar, the champion. His team is now up by
1
point in 1A.
They've got
but it's not over yet.
That's right.
All right, here come the 130-pound awards. 1A first in Veterans Auditorium.
130-pound awards. Coach Steve Shirk of Wilton. 6th place, Nate Tassler, Rockwell City Lytton. 5th place, Bud Harder, Bondurant Farrar. 4th place, Eric Walls. 4th place, Jay Ullman, Riceville. 3rd place, Eric Wallace, Logan Magnolia. Runner-up, Casey Boxa, Lisbon. And the 130-pound 1A champion from Wilton, Justin Stanley.
Justin Stanley, the winner, the winningest wrestler in the history of Iowa. 175 wins. He got the 175th tonight. Actually, we're doing the awards here, 1A, but the 2A match at 135 pounds isn't over yet.
That's right. So we still got a match, and here we go.
Garvin against Moffitt. Now, you get a chance to see 2 undefeated wrestlers go into the last 3-minute period, the 2-minute period. John Garvin, who's 45-0 coming in for champion Assumption, got the bandage job before they started. He had a cut on his head, and he drops in behind Luke Moffitt, who is going for his 89th consecutive win.
Defending champion, 88 in a row, 43-0. And just like you said, Garvin matches it.
And Garvin's
does it
leading.
A little better. And Garvin's leading 6-2. Minute 45 left in the 3rd period.
He's with a team Assumption that's had a roll right from the start. They were ahead on opening day, and nothing has stopped him since. Look at that. He is Moffitt, who's been a fine wrestler, and he's controlled him very well. Now he's locked up a cradle underneath just for a moment. Whatever he's done, it's been tough. He's ahead by 4 with 1:25 to go.
John Garvin from the state championship team, Davenport Assumption, trying to put some exclamation marks on the job.
There he has that 2-on-1 tilt, Tim. Couldn't get the points. That's Marv Ryland, by the way, doing the coaching.
He's official, but he's also, as you remember earlier, the athletic director of the year at Iowa City West High School. Done a tremendous job there.
Remember him at Eagle Grove. Well, I'll tell you what. When I saw him out there with the suit, I thought, well, Marv, how fast can he get that striped shirt on? Leaped into a phone booth and suddenly came out, and there he is, the super referee as well as the super athletic director. John Garvin beating Luke Moffitt here with 39 seconds to go by 4. Moffitt trying to get his 89th straight win and his 2nd title, but Garvin is in charge. Great year for Wade King and his people, right?
There he is, speaking of him right there. He really has. He's built a great program at Davenport Assumption, has it going.
Well, let's see. Where did he go to school?
Well, high school in Benton Community and then to the great Coe College in Cedar Rapids.
Gave you a chance to say that. There's a former Coe-Hawk here sitting next to me, Tim Johnson. John Garvin by 4 with only 17 seconds to go, and he is really in command here. Trying to make it 46 and zip this year. He's undefeated, but so is Moffitt. It's going to take a major upheaval here by Moffitt underneath to pull this one out. Tries the Granby. Got him a point, but that's all.
Got him a point, but it's not going to be enough. Oh, man.
Well, he came close.
He came
I'll
close.
tell you, that made it 6-5.
Yep.
Well, it's a good thing he had a 4-point lead, huh? Well,
Yeah.
John Garvin wins. And that's the second straight 2A champion down there with his nose stuffed for a nosebleed.
Capped an undefeated year, 46-0.
How about that?
By beating an undefeated wrestler, having won 88 in a row.
Let's go to the 2A
Fifth
awards
place,
now.
Dan Varner, Northwood Kensett. Fourth place, Buck Broyles, Adel DeSoto. Third place, Ryan Utterback, New Hampton. Runner-up, Garrett Kurth, Walk On. And the 130-pound 2A champion from Maquoketa, Cole Pape.
Now take a good look at that young man. He's a freshman. Will he come back? Maybe sophomore, junior, senior year? We'll just wait and see. Cole Pape beat a senior. So I think one of those rare little things, I think the awards got just a little bit ahead of themselves there for a second, Tim. So we had the 1As before the 2A match was over. Now we're coming to the 3As at
Class 3A
130.
130-pound awards. Coach Dick Briggs of Cedar Rapids Jefferson. Sixth place, Kevin Hessel, Pleasant Valley. Fifth place, Kyle Naughton, Glenwood. Fourth place, John Anderson, Oskaloosa. Third place, Eric Sinclair, Cedar Falls. Runner-up, Corey Tarchinsky, Davenport West. And the Class 3A 130-pound champion from Cedar Rapids, Jefferson, Tim Ironside.
Tim Ironside joins his brother in past years up on the top stand. Let's go to Dean Borg.
135 pounds and Class A, Tim Corey, 40-0 this year, 31 pins, had all pins in this tournament. He didn't do it again tonight against Kurt Nelson, but he did decision him 3-12. That is, the champion is Tim Corey, Bondurant Farrar, defeating Kurt Nelson, Nashua Plainfield, 12-3. Dick?
Young man with me started refereeing about 40 years ago, Arlo Flegge, and Arlo reminded me that we worked together a few years ago.
That's right. You and I were fortunate enough to meet in the districts at Starmont in the early 70s.
Now, Arlo, after 40 years of officiating and 30 years here at Des Moines, tonight you lead the Grand March for a great tribute to a great official. How are you going to spend your winters in the future?
Well, my wife has pretty well got that planned, I'm sure. I'll still be watching a lot of wrestling, but I think we want to do a little traveling.
It sounds great. Arlo, thank you very much, and let's go back to Doug.
Okay,
thank you, Arlo. Great to be with you.
There's Garvin's reaction. Got his 100th win with that one right there. Capped the undefeated year, his 100th career win, jumps into Wade King's arms. Big victory for Garvin.
Good catch by his coach. You don't want any errors in a situation like that. Let's go back to 140 pounds now for the 3As. We're in the 3As until 145. 152 will start the 1A division for 4 weights. In our coverage, the Iowa High School Athletic Association rotation, the man in the black with the red anklets there, the man in the black is Austin Kufel of Cedar Rapids Prairie. 35-1 coming into this match. His opponent from Spencer, 27-2, coached by David Schaefer, is Bob Koenig.
Offense, guy. Let's get it going.
Well, Kufel likes takedowns. I'd say he does. He set a school record this year with 243 of them.
243 takedowns.
In 1 year.
In 36 matches.
As far as he's concerned, he's not done.
Well, that's an average of more than 7 a match.
Lose it. All right. Set her off.
A lot of points. John Monroe of Indianola is the official here as we set up. There's a nice little head outside single. That's a high crotch shot by Kufel. Comes around and he's in. 2-0.
No, you're still down, partner.
Both young men are seniors.
Just looking down to see how they got here. And Kufel won 3 decisions, none of them really close. 2 10-5s. He beat Shane Hesenius of Lamar's at the semifinal level. And Bob Koenig won 3 decisions. The last one was kind of tough. He beat Adam Harms of Urbandale in the semis 5-2.
Bob Koenig's won a lot of matches in Veterans Auditorium. He's been here 4 years in a row. He was 5th as a freshman at 103. Second, he was in the title match 2 years ago at 119, and he got 4th last year at 140 pounds. So he's back at 140, and he's in the title match trying to win his first championship. 4-time placer. And yes, Austin Kufal was here 2 years ago for Clarinda Academy. He qualified, and now he's back to Prairie and in the championships as a senior.
Between periods here, Tim, we're going to show you at home the 2A team standings. Davenport Assumption has won it, but there's always a good battle for those 2 other trophies. They give away the nice big trophies for 2nd and 3rd, and now Winterset leads by 2 over New Hampton, who leads by 2 over Clear Lake and 3 over Shenandoah.
That'll be interesting. Close race for 2nd.
Come on in. 1 green.
There's the first.
Another nice shot there. Head outside single right there. But this time, Koenig's trying to scoot. And if he can scoot his hips out, scoot, 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 he's going to end up with 2 points. He's coming up. Good job.
And he would take the lead here 4-2. It hasn't been given yet.
No, it hasn't, because Kufal has that leg right there. You can see the whole action. Koenig doing a nice job of trying to stay up. He's balancing. He got the 2. Boy, he fought for that, Doug.
Koenig gets it. He's Spencer's finalist here, 4-2. Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Tim. You just look in and you can see it. Wrestling translates to TV about as well as anything for sports. You can see everything out there. Now here's Kufal in on the leg, but a good counter again by Koenig.
I thought Kufal was in there for sure and was going to complete it. And again, Koenig, good hip action right there, breaking the tie of Kufal.
Who did a good job himself getting back to his base. He was down flat.
There's Kufal in, but there comes Koenig around, flattens him out. They're back to their feet now.
Okay, at 3A, it's 4-3 in favor of Kufal of Cedar Rapids Prairie. With 39 seconds to go in the 2nd period. This one's anybody's match.
1A, we have Chad Eberhardt from Dyke, New Hartford, undefeated, going against Pat McMillan from Valley of Elgin.
Koenig of Spencer was working the front headlock, but he couldn't get around behind Kufal, who wouldn't let him post his head and spin.
There's David Schaefer right there that you saw, the coach standing up, yelling instructions to Bob Koenig from Spencer.
Koenig in the blue, the purple. Kufal of Cedar Rapids Prairie.
Coached by Scott Litterer, who is the incoming president. Nice shot.
Yes, by Koenig. Beautifully worked, and he's
right
up by 3 now.
Right at the end of the period. Big time takedown.
6-3. Tim, of course, means that when you get it at the end of the period, you can't answer it. You can't
right
escape.
there. Look at that shot, just like they show it in the books and on videotape, which you pay all the money for.
Throw it on by, and he's up by 3. We go to the last period, and Kufal wants to start on the feet. He feels that he can take Koenig down.
Well, I'd feel that way too if I had 240-some takedowns in the air.
But he's going to have to take him down more than once, maybe.
Yes.
Let's shove again.
By a standing 2.
Did he have his toes in? He did. 8-3. Whoa, boy, is Koenig looking good out there.
He really is. He's got it going right there. Nice up by. Look at that. On his feet. Knows right where he's at.
Is that red?
Well, he's got a weapon there that works. He's used it twice, that shot or throw by, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, son.
And he's scored twice, leads by 5 with 1.5 minutes to go.
He doesn't have to be shy about working on his feet either.
No. Kufal is out. He's down by 4. Now he still needs 2 takedowns, but 2 takedowns, not a tie, with less than 1.5 minutes to go.
Get in there.
Kufal of Cedar Rapids Prairie, trailing by 4 against the man on the left, Bob Koenig. Up in the 1A, it's a 7-2 lead for McMillan over Eberhardt. Valley of Elgin, Valley CEW of Elgin, the Dykes undefeated wrestler, New Hartford wrestler.
There on the left is Scott Litterer.
the head coach of Cedar Rapids Prairie and the incoming president for the Iowa High School
start.
Coaches and Officials Association.
By Kufel, but boy, Koenig has been able to react fast and sprawl out with a lot of hip. And
oh, look at that. Oh, nice. Little short drag. He's got it down. He has got that down. Short offense has been working for Koenig in a big way. Shucks, short drags. He's got it down, and he's taking it on all the way to a championship.
He's ahead by 6 with 35 seconds to go. Koenig over Kufel of Cedar Rapids Prairie. Koenig from Northwest Iowa, Spencer. Well, Kufel, as you said, is a great takedown artist, having set his school record, and a lot of great wrestlers have been at Prairie, like Barry Davis and a few others.
Zaleskis.
And yet this man has the takedown record, and he's been taken down 3 times in a row by Bob Koenig.
In 1A, it was Pat McMillan winning it for Valley, Belgium. And in 2A,
beat an undefeated man, Chad Eberhardt. We have just 4 seconds to go here, and a 7-point lead for Spencer's Koenig on top. Somebody moved too soon.
In 2A, Coach Larry Straw gets his first champion of the night out of 2 tries, where Corey Beckman wins it for New Hampton.
2 undefeated wrestlers there again for the second match in a row. And the winner is the man with his hands in the air, Bob Koenig of Spencer. That was an impressive victory over a very fine senior wrestler from Cedar Rapids Prairie, Austin Kufel.
There's David Schaefer. That's the coach.
Don't
Bob
jump
Koenig's
into him.
coach.
He's wearing a brace there. He did anyway. Well, the leg is strong enough to take it, I guess.
That coach is going to keep on jumping in everybody's.
Sixth place,
1A.
Greg Rodenberg, Underwood. 5th place, Joel Zigman, Odebolt Arthur. 4th place, Justin Trees, Green. 3rd place, Heston Johnson, Jewel, South Hamilton. Runner-up, Kurt Nelson, Nashua Plainfield. And the 135-pound 1A champion from Bondurant Farrar, Tim Corey.
Tim Corey, Bondurant Farrar. Right now he's responsible for putting his team up in first place by a point, because he won with extra points. Major decision, gave his team a 1-point lead in the 1A team race, which has been a real toughie, and it's not over yet. What do we have ahead in 1A? As a matter
Well,
of fact?
the next Hoback from Columbus Junction, he's got to win by 8 to tie
Presenting the
Bondurant
Class
Farrar
2A
to keep in the race.
135-pound awards, Coach Wade King
Will
of
be
Davenport Assumption.
one of the matches.
6th place, Ethan Weichman, Hampton Dumont. 5th place, Roger Vincent, Red Oak. 4th place, Matt Batani, Huxley Ballard. 3rd place, Dave Hellman, Waterloo, Columbus. Runner-up, Luke Moffett, Esterville, Lincoln Central. And the 135-pound 2A champion from Davenport Assumption, John Garvin.
Oh, he's got the war wound up there, but it doesn't matter a bit.
Perfect looking, isn't it? It's just perfect.
Sort of like Dan Gable looked in the 1972 Olympics with the bandage around the head. It doesn't hurt a bit. He's the champion. He beat a defending champion who was going for his 2nd title after Luke Moffett, a fine wrestler, had won 88 in a row. Now the 3As.
Presenting the Class 3A 135-pound awards, Coach Roger Williams of Decorah. 6th place, Ben Christensen, Glenwood. 5th place, Adam Kern, Pella. 4th place, Bill Neville, West Des Moines Dowling. 3rd place, Nate Bagby, Ankeny. Runner-up, Scott Schober, Manchester, West Delaware. And the Class 3A 135-pound champion from Decorah, Brandon Livengood.
Livengood is right. Boy, his name is his way he feels right now, I'll tell you what. Brandon Livengood, the champion at 135 pounds. Well,
Championship
Tim,
bouts at 145.
as we said, we're going to 145 now. And in one of these side matches, which you'll watch up in the corner, we're going to have a real chance. Let's go down to Dean Borg for our floor report.
Class A, 140 pounds for Pat McMillan of Valley of Elgin. It was now or never. He's a senior. He'd been at state 3 times before. He got the job done. 7-2 decision over Chad Eberhardt of Dyke, New Hartford. The champion at 140 in Class A, Pat McMillan of Valley of Elgin. Dick?
Dean, in 2A, the champion Corey Beckman of New Hampton made Coach Larry Straw a happy man. As you can see, Corey Beckman was an excited junior by virtue of his 3-0 win over Andy Vitham of Humble. And now Beckman goes 37-0 on the season, and we go back to Doug.
Thank you, Dick Trotter and Dean Borg, our floor reporters for so many years. 145 pounds. We go to 3A again. Jerry Reichs of Sioux City Heelan is going for a title against Clint Madison of Glenwood, and Glenwood has been going for the title. Now, if Madison wins, then all the Cedar Falls wrestlers have to lose for Glenwood to be in it for the title, but they're definitely in there for second place. Cedar Falls has some wrestlers yet to come, and they would all have to lose. And chances are not big.
Glenwood has to win both of theirs. This is the first of two.
First of two, that's right. That's right. They had 4 men in the Constellations that did well.
Let's go, guys. Up in single A, we've got Rob Hoback from Columbus Junction. Their only shot now at winning a state title, going against Dustin Destival from Wapsie Valley Fairbank. And the situation there is if Hoback wins by 8, they tie Bondurant Farrar. If he pins, they go ahead for the in the 1A. If he just wins, he falls short by a point.
So he's the man in the light blue.
Yep.
Who just got it on the leg out of bounds.
He's ahead 4-2.
Now at 3A, before we get to the 2A here, we'll set it up again. It's no scoreless here with about a minute to go. Jerry Reichs of Sioux City Heelan is in the light of the dark blue on the left there, and the black uniform belongs to Glenwood. That's Clint Madison. Okay, 0-0.
In 2A, Matt Anderson, he's got 171 wins already. He's not going to be able to get that all time, but 171 wins.
Oh, a nice takedown for Clint Madison over Jerry Reichs. 2-0 in favor of the Glenwood wrestler.
Again, 2A right there in the inset. Matt Anderson from Shenandoah going against Chad Smith from Winterset.
2-1 now after the escape by Reichs. So Madison won the first on the feet tussle. And leads 2-1. 15 seconds to go in the first period. That was a good time for a takedown, Tim.
Let's go to the middle, guys. Come on now. Can't be answered.
Can't be answered.
There, look at that takedown. Covers the hips. 2 points for the Glenwood wrestler.
Oh, nice move, however, by Jerry Reichs, and he got the 2. Now can he keep it? Score is 3-2.
Hey, you called it, Doug.
Woo. 3-2.
Green will be your choice.
Can't get it back.
Red.
Jerry Reichs, nice move there.
Run it down.
Heelan wrestler.
Here we go. Set red.
Coach Richard Tooney is
He's going to go optional.
watching his charge out there. Bob Dyer's the coach of Clint Madison. Bill Rotes, who wrestled a good deal in his day and has been an official on 2 of our big college dual meets this year, is the official here in the center. He's the main official of 2. You see him there on the left, behind the wrestlers. Reichs and Madison. Reichs on the left, tried that shuck again. Got it behind.
Got it down. 2 points.
And it worked. 4-5, 6-2, 6-2. Because he escaped to start the period. 6-2 in favor of Jerry Reichs.
2 takedowns in the last several seconds at the end of the first period, and then escape and a takedown early on.
Jerry Reichs is a senior. They're both seniors. They both won pins in their first round matches. And then Reichs had 2 1-point decisions to get in against the Pleasant Valley wrestler Duncan and the City High wrestler Zach Evans to make this final round.
Very interesting up in 1A. They got a timeout right now, but it's 7-2 with a minute left in the second period. That's a 5-point lead for Hoback. And again, an 8-point victory ties Wilton, ties Columbus for first place with Bondurant Farrar. 1933 is the last time I see that there was a tie for the championship.
Huh. That's amazing.
Let's go.
Bill Roach says there's something not going fast enough there. Jerry Reichs is hit with it. In 1933, Cresco and New Hampton tied for the lead. Coach at New Hampton at that time,
1 grade.
Finn Erickson.
Wow. Neutral.
One of the legendary names in Iowa wrestling from another generation. Away we go again. This is the 3A feature match here between Jerry Reichs and Clint Madison. Sioux City Heelan against Glenwood. We'll be going to the 1As for the 152 through 189, and then the heavyweight match will be whatever seems to make the most sense at the time to us. That's the one we call ourselves.
Circle, both of you.
6-3 lead in favor of the man on the left. He got 2 big takedowns against Madison and is up by 3 with a half a minute to go in the second period.
Right out here, Green. Let's go.
Worried looking coaches. Madison, he's back to you. Now on the left, he's down by 3. Works on that Russian tie, the 2-on-1. What can he do with it?
Well, right now what he needs, what Madison needs is one of those end of the period takedowns, you know, that can't be answered.
We're getting up close to 1 point, within 1 point. We're in the last 15 seconds. We'll show you the 1A team standings in that great race between the periods here.
Well, you know, what's interesting is that Hoback does have an 8-point lead right now with a minute left. And if it holds up, it'll be a tie.
What happens if he goes to 15, gets a technical foul?
They'll go ahead. So here's Columbus Junction, and they need 5 to tie. Well, they'll get it if Hoback gets that 8-point victory. And Postville still has a wrestler to go, and they still will have something to say about it.
Now it's a 7-point lead. Here we are in 3A again, 6-4. The third period started with Reichs on top. Madison is out now. He needs a takedown to tie. Good match here at 145 in the AAA division. Championships 1998 from Veterans Auditorium in Des Moines. Tim Johnson, I'm Doug Brown, with about 12,000 plus people.
No.
Almost every single person here was somebody they were really pulling for awfully hard. Final night is all reserved seats, and they're all full, but they were full all week. Boy, I'll tell you, biggest, I don't know.
Record crowd.
Officially, that's what we hear unofficially.
Something like 75,000 anyway, plus over 3 days.
Reichs on the left leads by 2. Bill Roach, the official, I can tell you he's not going to let Reichs sit on that 2-point lead either. I don't think he has any reason.
Right here.
No reason to think he will.
If Madison from Glenwood can't get it done, Glenwood would be out of the title hunt. Cedar Falls would win before they send their first finalist to the mat.
So.
And he's down 6-4 with a minute left.
He'd like at least to make Cedar Falls have to work for that last point. Reichs on the left by 2. And there's warning against both men, Roach. And Reichs is in. Reichs is in. Trying to put the nail in the Glenwood coffin. And he has got a lead of 8-4, 7-5 now.
And Hoback is losing his lead. He's down, and
in fact, he's on his back.
He's on his back.
Amazing. He's down.
And he's going to win the championship.
By the skin of his teeth.
But his team is not. His team is not.
12 seconds to, unless he has a 6-point move here.
That's 11-9.
Yeah. I got 2 back.
Okay, here at 3A2, by the way, 23 seconds to go, and a 9-10. We're trying to set the score. I thought the score was not quite right.
2 reversal, 2 near fall, makes it 9-9.
9-9.
We came out. No, off the mat, off the mat. We got the stall point in there. We got the stall point in there, okay? Score was 6-4. Okay. You got the stall point, make it 6-5. He took you down, made it 8-5. You reversed for 2 and 3. So that's 1
Somebody better call in a math teacher here somewhere along the line and get this one straightened out.
Okay, well, we had 2 points.
Let's see what happened.
Only got a 2 count.
There's a takedown.
That's
only
right.
Got a 2 count in.
Yeah.
There was a. What was the score at the end of the second period? 6-4, 6-3, 6-3. Okay, and he cut him to make it 6-4.
Possible back points.
Then the stall point.
1.
6-5.
Oh, yes.
He took you down. Made it 8-5.
My goodness, that was there. Now they got the 2.
9-8. 9-8.
Okay, now they're figuring out what the scores are here.
9-8. It's 9-8 right now.
9-8. Okay.
No, you're behind by 1. 9-8.
Scores 9-8 in favor of Madison.
It was 6-3.
Over Reichs.
Then he cut him to make it 6-4. Then he got penalized to make it 6-5. You took him down to make it 8-5. He reversed him, made it 8-7. He got a 2-point near fall to make it 9-8. Excuse me. 9-8 right now, and you are down.
You're down by 1. You got to score.
Bill Rhodes does a nice job for us there.
Set. There's 23 seconds. Set.
All right.
And you've both been warned.
That's
Cover him.
You have to be able to count to be a referee. 9-8, 20 seconds to go. Big time here. The man on top is leading by 1. He was trailing for a while, but that big move, that near fall, made the difference so far. Now it's even, 9-9. 11 seconds to go. If one can take the other down here in the last 11 seconds, they can avoid an overtime. Madison in black, Reichs in the blue. I don't think either one's going to do it. Looks of it. Reichs tried. Oh!
No.
Madison a shot.
Woo! 2 minutes.
Time ran out.
2 minutes.
Time ran out.
So here we go.
Okay, 2 minutes. It's sudden death, sudden victory, whatever you want to call it. Take the positive or the negative. Whoever scores first wins. It's for the championship of the AAA division of 145 pounds in the 1998 high school wrestling finals in Veterans Auditorium. Clint Madison in the black from Glenwood against Jerry Reichs of Sioux City Heelan in the blue.
Offense, guys.
They don't, as you notice, give them any rest period before going into that overtime. And if they're still tied at the end of 2 minutes, there will be no rest period either before they do the referee's position. Who's going to get it? Working without a tie-up, notice.
Pick it up.
They don't seem to be really terribly anxious to get in there ear to ear, working on hand fighting more than anything else. Who can control the other's wrist?
Come on, guys. Let's go. We got 1 minute.
So Reichs got around in what was almost, you might call a semi-Russian tie with a 2-on-1, trying to come around and work something off it.
Madison trying to keep Glenwood in the hunt right here. 4th time in state tournament, 1st time in the finals.
Oh, a nice double leg attempt by Clint Madison. Can he score?
Oh, there it is!
Can he score? He does! And Glenwood is still in it.
They're still in it. Makes it 90-85.
Came from behind to win. Clint Madison of Glenwood keeps his team in it for Bob Dyer. A good match between Madison and Jerry Reichs. Overtime.
Good job, guys.
Madison, the state champion from Glenwood. His team is not out of it yet. Cedar Falls has to send his men out to see if they can do it.
Here's the winning takedown right here. Drives in for a double. Head, gets a hit to the outside there. Then he hooks the leg right here. Drives through, knows right where he's at. Feet are in. Look at the reaction.
6th place, Heath Johnson, Jewel,
into
South
Bob
Hamilton.
Dyers.
5th place, Heath
1A,
Clausen,
140.
Underwood. 4th place, Shane Carpenter, Postville. 3rd place, Tom Hahn, Highland Riverside. Runner-up, Chad Eberhardt, Dyke, New Hartford. And the 140-pound 1A champion from Valley Elgin, Pat McMillan.
Congratulations, Pat. Pat McMillan, the 1A champion at 140. Here's the coach's reaction in that Glenwood match.
Bob Dyer, the coach, says, I love it for my kid, I love it for my team.
Pretty good bear hug there. Notice the technique on the clasped hands there behind the back.
Good call of 2 points by Bill Rhodes.
And the Glenwood team, 2nd place and still hoping to stay in there. They have one more man yet to go. Now it's 2A 140.
Class 2A 140-pound awards. Coach Larry Straw of New Hampton. 6th place, Jeff Johnston, Winterset. 5th place, Josh Brown, Anamosa. 4th place, Corey Wilkins, Tama, South Tama County. 3rd place, Tyler McGinnis, Shenandoah. Runner-up, Andy Vitzhum, Humboldt. And the Class 2A 140-pound champion from New Hampton, Corey Beckman.
That catapulted New Hampton right up there in the trophy race. We'll see it in the next update in 2A.
Sure did. Corey Beckman from 2A, New Hampton. New Hampton, every time I think of New Hampton, I think of years and years ago, there used to be a restaurant up there on the main street called Little Butch's. And the fellow used to be able to, you'd stop there on your way north, you know. And there was a guy there who could take about 30 orders and cook them all without ever taking a note. The guy was amazing, and I'm sure people who knew New Hampton will remember all about it. So
presenting the Class 3A
I'm not making it up,
140-pound awards, Coach David Schaefer of Spencer.
I'm going to let you say whatever you want tonight, Doug, whatever you want.
Southeast Polk Runnels. 5th place, Justin Crouch, Glenwood. 4th place, Adam Harms, Urbandale. 3rd place, Shane Hesenius, Lamar's. Runner-up, Austin Kofel, Cedar Rapids Prairie. And the 140 3A champion from Spencer, Bob Koenig.
He wrestled a great match, Bob Koenig. I only mentioned Little Butch's because it was a famous place, guys. Okay, now let's go to Dean Borg for a floor report.
At 145 pounds in Class A, Columbus Junction senior Rob Hoback was dominating his match with Dustin Destival of Wapsie Valley at Fairbank. In fact, he was leading late in the 3rd period after a series of takedowns. He'd let his man up and then take him down, take him down, take him down. He was leading 11-6, but he let Dustin Destival up one too many times, and Destival scored a takedown late in the period, 3 near fall points. He just about pinned that man, but Hoback pulled it out. He is the champion, 11-9 over Dustin Destival. Dick?
In Class 2A competition, Matt Anderson of Shenandoah defeated Chad Smith of Winterset. Major decision, 17-5, big time, as Anderson wins his 2nd consecutive title for Shenandoah. Last year at 140, this year at 145. Doug?
Thank you, Dick and Dean. We're at Iowa Public Television's coverage of the 1998 High School Wrestling Championships live in Veterans Auditorium in Des Moines. Thank you for tuning in. Maybe you have somebody out here you're watching carefully to see what happens in your hometown. We're going to 1A now, 152 through 189. 1A, the smaller schools. And a young man undefeated from Underwood, coached by Lewis Curtis, is going up against a young man from Northland and Troy Mills, coached by Chris Anderson. Blue Wall against Kent Noska.
And if you've got a famous restaurant in your little town, just let us know.
Let me tell you, I was just going to tell you how Tim Johnson thinks.
Hey, just miss the double dip ice cream in Morning Sun, Iowa for a nickel, okay? That's what I grew up with.
Very nice young man here wrestling for Underwood, 48-0. His name is Blue Wall. Last name spelled W-A-H-L-E. And Tim was very disappointed when he couldn't say it was Blue Whale. And I don't blame him. The Eagles on the front of Blue Wall's uniform. He's in the light blue against Kent Noska in the maroon. And it's Wall's takedown, 2-0. Boom, like that. Okay, let's talk about wrestling instead of food. How about that, Tim? Up on 2A, who do you have?
It's the 2nd favorite topic of all wrestlers.
Because they can't eat. Now there's a pin at heavyweight at 3A. 2A, it's Curtis Williamson of Eagle Grove against Tim Mathis of Davenport Assumption. The champion team has another man out there. He's in the red at the top. And at AAA, it's Dayton Erickson of Cedar Falls. There's a Cedar Falls wrestler out here, the champion team, if he can win it all.
If he can win it, yeah.
And Drew Kelly of Charles City is the man who's trying to keep him from getting it. And right here, it's a 2-0 lead for the man who's riding very well here, Blue Wall. Spells his first name B-L-U is for short.
Bottom man, green, let's go, bottom man. Your ward, let's go.
Official is Mike Denner of Waverly, saying the bottom man is not moving enough, and he's going to call him for stalling.
Underwood had a lot of wrestlers come to the state, and they had 6 win in the first round. We're leading the tournament and then faltered, but good program going on in Underwood by Lou Curtis. There he is. Good job by the camera people, Iowa Public Television. We say it, they show it. Lou Curtis, his dad, Terry Curtis, was inducted into the Officials Hall of Fame tonight. Former wrestling coach at Williamsburg, and then official, Terry Curtis, his son, Lou, at Underwood.
Like so much of this wrestling game, you know, it's in the family, you know, somewhere along the line. Wall leads 2-1. Blue is in the blue. In fact, there. Got poked in the eye, I think, but he's ready to go again. They'll flip coins for who goes in the second period. Choice goes to the Troy Mills, North Lynn wrestler Kent Noska.
He's a senior. Blue Wall is a junior and 48-0 this year.
He deferred.
Wall qualified as a freshman, was fourth place last year as a sophomore. And Kent Noska was a qualifier last year as a junior.
Cover. Wall gets to his feet right away. Noska struggles back with the high leg. Wall's out, and he's up by 3-1. Wall has a takedown. He had the first takedown.
He got an escape. In 2A up there, Wade King's Davenport Assumption wrestler Tim Mathis going for his championship, and Wade King's third champion. In 3A, of course, we've got the Cedar Falls wrestler Dayton Erickson behind by the count of 5-1 to Drew Kelly of Charles City.
There we go. Kelly has a record of 30-1 coming into this championship round. There's a shot, a low shot out of balance by Kent Noska, and Blue Wall takes advantage of it right away. Stuff Simmons comes right on around for his second takedown. He's had 5-1. Wall looking good. That's how he got to be 48 and zip this year. Gives up a takedown, gives up no takedowns, but gives up the escape. 5-2 now with a minute to go, and again he counters and goes behind. 7-2.
Does a really good job of countering the shots.
One green, neutral.
He's a 3-year member of the USA National Freestyle and Greco team. Top 8 finish here in the 1996 Greco Nationals. Blue Wall and Underwood.
Watch the face, you understand? Okay.
One of those youngsters who has been out in the world of wrestling, you know, they start early.
Well, he's probably had 150 matches, 200 outside of the year in his freestyle Greco program. That's equal to 3 or 4 more years of experience. That's where you go to the next level.
There he is, Blue Wall in the blue on the left. Kent Noska from North Lynn against him. 1A, 152 pounds.
Nothing yet, nothing yet, nothing yet.
Nothing.
Nothing yet, nothing yet.
Wall was looking for a lot, then he decided I'll just go around and get something.
And take the takedown.
That's right.
So he's had 9-3 now. He's very confident on his feet, as you can tell. Between the periods, we'll show you the 3A standings. A switch try by Noska, but Wall just held on and cut it off. And that ends the first period, 9 points.
Here's the deal. Glenwood's got one more wrestler. They have to have something like a major to even tie Cedar Falls. Cedar Falls has to lose 3 in a row of their finalists to give Glenwood any kind of chance.
So how's Dayton Erickson doing with Drew Kelly?
Well, he's down.
He's down 7-1, so Cedar Falls still doesn't have that clincher. Not quite yet. Wall goes with the international start. Referee Mike Denner tells Kent Noska it's coming. He's going to be freed, 9-4. Period ends. We go to the third period. Well, what is the time?
Watch the face, all right? Okay.
Apparently Wall got poked in the eye again.
Watch it. All right? Here we go. All right now? My time.
There's that real confidence in the tie-ups. You notice that from Wall? Starts right there.
Nice,
comes
no,
right in.
He does a nice job of a couple of things. One, he feels the shot of the other man, and he's able to defend it and drop around. There's Luke Curtis, his coach from Underwood. And but on the other hand, when he sees an opening, Wall's able to shoot in, and he does a nice job finding an opening and penetrating.
Well, he looks like a prospect, all right. There's no doubt about it. 152 pound at the 1A division. He leads 10-4 over Kent Noska. Noska was warned for backing away. Again, he comes under the arms and boom, he's in there fast.
Little short drag into a tack on the hips, double leg, 2 takedown.
Nice move by, well, he's used several things here tonight. So far, he's had 6 takedowns. Minute and 5 to go, third period. That's what Noska has to do. He has to just turn around and go.
Here's the last takedown right there, just driving across the arm, into the hips, 2 points.
He just powered right through it, didn't he? So now Wall seems to have some sort of trouble with a leg that they're calling time for. He has a wrap on his left knee. Not sure what the serious injury is. They're stretching it a little bit, as if it's some kind of a muscle spasm.
And at 3A, we have a 9-1 lead by Drew Kelly from Charles City. Here's where we're at. Right there is Cedar Falls' first finalist right there is Dayton Erickson, and he's down 9-1 with only 41 seconds left. It doesn't look like it's going to be him. 1A is final, or 2A is final.
2A. And that,
When he's ready.
well, let's see.
Cut time.
We'll get it for you in a second.
I think it's Davenport Assumption's third.
Right,
Davenport Assumption's third win in 2A.
Tim Mathis.
Tim Mathis.
Now we're back at work here in the 1A mat with Blue Wall of Underwood leading 12-5 in the last 50 seconds of the match. He's the man in blue going booming and then a double leg. Wham. He's just been too much here for Kent in this last match.
What's your improvement now?
Straight ahead stuff.
Winner on
14-5.
3A is Drew Kelly. He won 9-1 over the Charles City wrestler. Drew Kelly wins over Dayton Erickson from Cedar Falls.
So Cedar Falls have a couple of more wrestlers in.
But Glenwood has a shot to see if they're going to put the pressure on next match.
Bottom set. Optional start. Cover.
1A, 25 seconds to go here. Again, boy, I'll tell you, Wall has been able to get under those arms and just barrel in pretty much at will here in the last few minutes. 14-6 with 20 seconds to go. He's trying to make off with the 1A championship at 152 pounds. That's the only match left of the three weights going right now. And right after that, we'll have the 145-pound awards for you.
Let's go this way.
5 seconds to go. And a good, solid, workmanlike, impressive win by Wall. There's a throw just to top it off. 16-6, it's over. Wall's the state champion.
Lou Curtis gets his first state champion at Underwood. It's not Underwood's first state, but it's the coach's. And the significance about it is his dad coached for years and years at Williamsburg, never had a state champion, and now his son, and I'm sure he's just happy as all get out. He goes into the Officials Hall of Fame tonight, and his son gets his first state champion.
Look at that grin on the coach there. That's a good wrestler, Wall. Let's go to 145 1A.
Presenting the Class 1A 145-pound awards, Coach Bill Plain of Columbus Junction, Columbus. 6th place, Matt Cornelison, Guthrie Center. 5th place, Chris Corey, Bondurant Farrar. 4th place, Seth Evans, Lenox. 3rd place, Jake Munger, Maynard West Central. Runner-up, Dustin Dustival, Wapsie Valley Fairbank. And the Class 1A 145-pound champion from Columbus Junction, Columbus, Rob Hoback.
Rob Hoback. His team right up there in the top 4. We're still trying to decide which one of the top 4.
Yeah, it is wild. I mean, it's 64 for Bondurant Farrar, and then Columbus Junction and Wilton each have 63 and can't answer. There they are, but Postville has a chance to still tie Bondurant Farrar for the championship.
Takes some doing, but it can be done. And as a matter of fact, as we were telling you, Cedar Falls is going to have to go to another weight to wrap up the 3A division because they lost at 152. Glenwood is still, well, in some kind of distant way alive, but you never know, do you?
Presenting the Class 2A 145-pound award, Coach Kent Jorgensen of Shenandoah. 6th place, Andrew Hayes, Creston. 5th place, Will Graves, Esterville, Lincoln Central. 4th place, Colin Freeberg, Algona. 3rd place, Mike Kennedy, Monticello. Runner-up, Chad Smith, Winterset. And the Class 2A 145-pound champion from Shenandoah, Matt Anderson.
Congratulations, Matt. From Shenandoah, the 2A champion at 145 pounds. We're going to go up to 3A now for the top 6 awards at 145. And here are the team standings for the 3As before we do. There's how close it is.
And Glenwood has a wrestler, Terry Parham, defending state champion, coming up next. If he pins his man, they go ahead of Cedar Falls.
Right.
6th place, Zach Evans, Iowa City High. 4th place, Eric Weber, Dubuque Senior. 4th place, Brian Loughran, Manchester, West Delaware. 3rd place, Jim Martin, Ames. Runner-up, Jerry Reeks, Sioux City Heelan. And the Class 3A 145-pound champion from Glenwood, Clint Madison.
That was a great match there.
He kept him in there.
Overtime winner. Well, let's get some reports on those 152 matches. Dean Ward, first of all. Dean?
Double A, 152 pounds. Davenport Assumption's Tim Mathis scored a reversal in the second period, added the takedown in the last period, and decision Kurt Williamson 4-2. Williamson from Eagle Grove. And jumping into a coach's arms like that, I think at 152 pounds, we're probably reaching the weight at which we're not going to see too much more of that. Dick?
All right, Dean, in AAA competition, Cedar Falls, this is the night of the underclassmen. There you see the junior Drew Kelly of Charles City after he has defeated the senior Dayton Erickson of Cedar Falls 9-1. And Cedar Falls still has yet to win the title, and that is the 152-pound championship. Your winner, Drew Kelly. Back to you, Doug.
Thank you, Dick Trotter and Dean Borg. Hear from you again after we get through 160, and 160 is coming up right now. Remember, we're at the 1A division here at 160 through 189 now, and heavyweight will decide what division we'll be in when we get there. Tim Johnson, we have Benji Silver and Zeb Evans of going for undefeated seasons, right?
That's right, 30-0, 44-0, Zeb Evans and Benji Silver. Boy, look at that.
Central City against Lennox now. Benji Silver is in the, well, look at it this way. He's the long leggings there, the long black.
In 2A, we have got Michael Klaus from Brooklyn, BGM Brooklyn, 47-0, going against Eric Pettengill from LaPorte City, Union, 26-4.
And at AAA, it's Terry Parham of Glenwood in that all-important match going against Andy Harrison of West Des Moines Valley.
Whoa, look at that in 2A. The winner
was Michael Klaus.
Wow.
Undefeated. He won his 48th match of the year with a pin. Boom, like that over Eric Pettengill of LaPorte City of Union. Union School of LaPorte City.
42-second pin.
Undefeated season. One of the first things the young man from Central Iowa sitting next to us in the press box last night said is he spells his name C-L-A-E-Y-S. He pronounces it Klaus. Don't let anybody fool you. And we'll pronounce it any way he wants to spell it because he's the champion, 48-0 of the 2As. Now we're going back to our featured match between Benji Silver on your right, who's back to you, and Zeb Evans of Lennox. They're both undefeated.
Go, guys, offense.
Benji Silver from Central City in Lynn County. Zeb Evans from Lennox in Southwest Iowa. Obviously, they haven't met this year because neither one of them was lost. Dell Hughes of Sioux City is the official. He's the one who says you're both stalling and you're both going to have to be more active.
In 3A, you see up above there, it's 2-0.
Favor of Harrison.
He got a big headlock, but he went out of bounds before he could get back points.
Not there. There's 2.
It's 2 for the Lennox wrestler. Zeb Evans goes up 2-0 over Benji Silver.
Evans has been to the state tournament all 4 years of his high school career. Started at 135, then 152 for 2 years, 160. 2 years ago, he was 4th. Last year, he didn't place. Here he is in the finals.
Second period, 2-0, man. You're there.
Zeb Evans got to the finals with 2 big decisions and a pin in the semifinal round. He beat Drew Bader of North Cedar on a fall. This is Evans on top. But here comes Silver.
Silver has to get up off his knees right there to make it work.
He hasn't been given an escape yet. There it is. Del Hughes says it's 1 point for Silver.
This is a rematch from the last 2 years. Silver has beaten Zeb Evans 2 years in a row in the state tournament.
Well, last year Benji Silver was the winner at 152, and you know who finished 4th? Blue Wall of Underhood, who just won the title at 152 this year.
2 years ago, these guys met for 3rd and 4th, and Benji Silver won in overtime. Last year they met in the quarters, and Silver won again.
It's 2-1 here in favor of the man with the, you might say, the short pants there. They're both in black. That was Benji Silver in on the leg, but right at the end of the period. So now, what is it? Not the end of the period, but 1:03 to go in the second period. 2-1 in favor of the man on the right. Evans has the only takedown. Iowa Public Television coverage, live as it is every year, of the 1998 High School Wrestling Championships from Veterans Auditorium in Des Moines.
We're hanging green.
No place to sit in here now if you just walked in the door. You have to leap in behind somebody who's on his feet cheering.
It's attack.
Packed house. Both men have been warned, by the way, because they lock up out in front and not haven't satisfied Del Hughes very much. That they're doing everything they can, but I think they probably feel they are. Going ear to ear, 2-1, 20 seconds to go in the second period.
Oh,
Here it
nice
comes.
job.
Silver
He was
takes the
reaching
lead.
across. I thought he had a nice move. Then I thought that Zeb Evans was going to come and counter it and score, and Silver came to the other side and got the takedown.
And he leads by 1, 3-2, and we have very few seconds left in the second period. This is one of those unanswered takedowns. That's his first takedown. Let's see it.
Look at coming from one side. Looks like Evans has it. Oh, and then he just stays with it is what he did. And Silver comes around.
Went around the
gets
corner.
the 2 points.
Went around behind and got the lead 3-2. They started on their feet in this period. Whose choice was it?
Work center.
3-2 score in favor of Benji Silver. He counters and comes around on the leg again. Can he score with it? That's a potentially dangerous hold on the knee. There's no doubt about it. And so Del Hughes comes right around and stops it. You can see.
There's the Lennox coach, Aaron McGuire, standing up, getting back down. He'll probably stand up and get back down about 20 more times. Been at Lennox 17 years as the head coach.
3A, it's 3-1 in favor of Andy Harrison of West Des Moines Valley. State's largest school system against Terry Parham of Glenwood. And Parham must win to keep Glenwood in it.
That's right. If he loses, Cedar Falls wins the 3A tournament for the 3rd title for Gene Doyle and the Cedar Falls Tigers in the 90s.
That was a real tussle there at the end of that period. Going around and around with not the end of the period either. I keep trying to end the period, and it's not. 1 minute and 15 seconds to go. But Silver has been starting the action, and then they get into these around you go scrambles, and they're kind of interesting.
We're out center.
Out of bounds with 1 minute left to go. The score 3-2 in favor.
That's Kevin Schlotterbeck right there in his first year at Central City High School as the head coach.
His man leads by 1. 3-2. Benji Silver on the left. See him pull the man's head down. Snap the man's head down. Now go for a front headlock. See if he can work off that.
Improve it.
Snap the man's head down and then take a move off of that while he's reacting, you know. Setups are all important. If you've been around the sport a little bit, you learn that more and more, how important it is. Those, from a distance, very subtle little things that are going on when they grab each other's heads and arms. Again, you see Silver on the left trying to snap his man down in that ear-to-ear position. It's not working because Evans, who trails by 1 and 20 seconds to go, going to have to move. He's going to have to move. Now there's a point for Silver, and the man who got the point was the man who was ahead, 4-2.
So it's 4-2.
So now Evans will really have to go in the last 15 seconds. to tie it. He had to do that.
Oh, yeah.
But not that way. That's the way he wanted to do it. 6-2 now in favor of Silver, and Silver's going to repeat as champion.
And in his first year as coach, Kevin Schlotterbeck gets a state champion. Benji Silver.
Benji Silver, he was a champion at 152 last year. This year it's 160.
And he beats his opponent, Zeb Evans, 3 years in a row in the state tournament.
All right, the winner's Silver. Now let's look up at the 3A while we're at
only
it.
30 seconds left, and it looks like Glenwood is not going to catch him. There's the coach's reaction right here. Look at him. Oh, yeah.
First-year coach, and he knows how to do it already.
Right, yeah, he's got it down. Look at the little kick at the end.
How about that?
Here's 3A with 20 seconds left, and Parham, defending champion from Glenwood, down. Glenwood on the bubble. They've been a 2A school, and they're in the 3A holding their own and going for a championship. What do you think about that?
That's good. They almost, well, they gave Cedar Falls a real tussle here. They are 5 points behind. Parham has to win and give Glenwood any kind of statistical chance. Although Cedar Falls has some force coming up ahead. They have Ted Pryor coming at 171. They also have Jim Farrell at heavyweight ahead. Just about 21 seconds to go here at 3A at 160. Terry Parham of Glenwood.
He won it last year at 152 in 3A, but
Harrison
he's
is
come up
driving
short.
it. Andy Harrison of Valley High School of West Des Moines.
Wins it a championship and gives Cedar Falls their second in a row.
Coached by Travis Young. He began his high school career being coached by the late Vern Hill, who was put in the High School Wrestling Hall of Fame here earlier tonight. The late Vern Hill, who died last year. Fine teacher and coach. Andy Harrison is the winner at 160 for 1998 at 3A. Wins over Terry Parham. That makes Cedar Falls the champion team at 3A. So all we have to settle, Tim, is 1A. And we'll try to work on that in the next match, next round. We'll see it. We'll see it. Postville goes at it. Here's 1A at
the
Award.
Class 1A 152-pound awards, Coach Lewis Curtis of Underwood. Sixth place, Craig Davlar, Rock Valley. Fifth place, Nick Haney, Mason City Newman. Fourth place, Brody Veet, Odebold Arthur. Third place, Tyler Nix, Green. Runner-up, Kent Noska, Northland, Troy. And the 152-pound 1A champion from Underwood, Blue Wall.
Blue Wall, who placed last year, but placed right at the top this year. He looked impressive at his weight. He dominated everybody, and he is the champion at 1A in 152 pounds. So that's 1A. Let's go to 2A now next. Coming up. When we get back to wrestling again, it'll be 171 pounds, and we'll still be at 1A watching Postville make their shot at first place.
Assistant coach and brother Bill Mathis of Davenport Assumption. Sixth place, Ben Goodale, West Liberty. Fifth place, Matt Rupiper, Carroll Kemper. Fourth place, Matt Fletcher, Shenandoah. Third place, Gary Frank, Van Horn Benton Community. Runner-up, Curtis Williamson, Eagle Grove. And the Class 2A 152-pound champion from Davenport Assumption, Tim Mathis.
One more champion for Davenport Assumption. How many is that, Tim, for Davenport Assumption? That's 3. They wrapped up first place very early in an impressive performance as a team. Tim Mathis, the champion there at 152. Now the 3As at 52.
Presenting the Class 3A 152-pound awards, Coach David Williams of Charles City. Sixth place, Richard Schroeder, Lamar's. Fifth place, Ryan Klein, Ames. Fourth place, Nate Toft, Spencer. Third place, Jeremy Black, Oskaloosa. Runner-up, Dayton Erickson, Cedar Falls. And the Class 3A 152-pound champion from Charles City, Drew Kelly.
Great job there, Drew. I'd like to recommend a restaurant for our head producer, but instead we're going to go to Dean Board for a floor report.
We didn't even work up a sweat in the 160-pound match on the AA mat. Michael Klaus, unbeaten at 47-0 of Brooklyn BGM, took only 42 seconds to put Eric Pettengill in that cradle. Eric is from LaPorte City Union, and then it was all over. With 42 seconds elapsed in that first period, you see the ref slap the mat, and that was all it took to make Michael Klaus the champion in AA at 160 pounds. Doug?
Thank you, Dean. That was impressive. He got out there fast and finished an undefeated season in a big, big way. Now here's a big match, 171 pounds. That we're featuring 1A through up to 189. Through 189, and Brent Myers of Postville, his team is still statistically in there for a shot at the 1A title. And Tracy Decker, his coach, had a good talk with him before they went out. They know what they have to do. Brent Myers is wrestling against Jed Van Langen of Janesville, coached by Bill Grum.
Well,
Tim
look at him go.
Coaches.
He knows what he's got to do. A fall by the Postville wrestler ties for the state championship.
The man who has the body lock is the Postville wrestler Brent Myers. They both have black. The white, look down on the legs there. On the white you see on the left, well that's Jed Van Langen of Janesville. And on the left it's Brent Myers of Postville. At 1A, as we watch this featured match, at 2A we're going to have Lucas Kluver of Maquoketa against undefeated Scott Kaufman of Emmitsburg. That'll be a good one too. At AAA, Jessamine Smith of Southeast Polk of Runnels and Ted Pryor of Cedar Falls are undefeated, going for the championship of the big schools. There they go ear to ear here at 1A in the center. It's the center man of the three. They move them around from year to year. This year, 1A is in the center. And Langen against Myers. Nothing decided. They've gone a minute and a half without a score, and I think that Buyer of Greenfield is looking him over and saying, somebody move, somebody take a shot.
Well, Brent Myers is going close here. Man. I mean, he's going forward, trying to get that inside position there, and he's got Van Langen backing up. Ooh, that's Kaufman with a big headlock right there, trying to pull him in and get his first state championship. Second as a freshman, second as a sophomore, third as a junior, and now he's trying to put it away and win one. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Okay, Postville, 6 points for a pin. Ties him with Bondurant. It'd be the first tie since 1933. Kaufman gets the pin for Emmitsburg. Look at that race. Woo! And if he wins, he finishes out of the trophy hunt if he doesn't get an 8-point win.
So they go all the way below third.
They go all the way below third. There's the win. Bob Kinney, the coach from Emmitsburg, giving Scott Kaufman the big hug, the victory hug.
42-0 for him this year. Lucas Kluver of Maquoketa was the unfortunate victim in this one, but Lucas will get second place as consolation. But it's Scott Kaufman on the top rung this year. 1A timeout for an injury, 171 pounds. We go to the second period.
Red takes down.
And Jed Van Langen of Janesville has his choice. He will start underneath. He feels that he can get out. He wants to try to score it by getting out quickly as possible, but Myers is going to take him right back down again. Brent Myers working on the cross face.
You can tell what he's going for.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure
you know,
is.
he's
going for a pin. He knows. His coach knows.
He says, I'll worry about winning at the end a little bit. That's the attitude he has, but I got to go after the pin. This thing's a team championship, too. It's not just individual.
Back down.
It's the way it works.
That's right. His team needs a pin. 4 points is the difference between second place and first place. Everybody in the finals tonight has already been given all their second place points because they automatically have them.
On man set.
The winner gets an extra 4. You add to that the benefit points from a fall or a major decision or a technical fall. And a pin is what he has to have to get 6 altogether to tie the first place team. And Brent Myers, who's riding right now in a 0-0 match. He began the second period on top. He's having
Back
some
down,
difficulty
back
getting Jed Van
down.
Lengen back down on the mat again. Finally did it.
He's riding him great.
Now, I suspect Jed Van Lengen of Janesville has been told
Top
too.
man, stalling. Let's go.
The top man has been given a warning. Brent Myers of Postville.
Cover.
In 3A, Jessamine Smith from Southeast Polk is ahead of Ted Pryor from Cedar Falls,
Here comes
3-0.
a quick move by Van Lengen. And he has a reversal, and now Myers of Postville is down 2-0.
Yeah, but he's got him in trouble. If he can slip out right here. Myers looking to slip him out. He does for one anyway.
On green,
that
neutral,
makes it 2-1.
And they're ready to
2-1 in
dance.
favor of Van Lengen.
Circle in.
He had the reversal here. This is the second
the
period, 20 seconds to go.
Here's the reversal. Van Lengen coming around, slipping through, coming up on top of the legs in, and then Myers is able to come out for one.
2-1, 15 seconds to go. This is the point where
nose.
Somebody has a bloody
Throw it
nose.
away if you
That's
need
the.
it.
And
Just
so
throw it away. There you go. You need
Myers
it? Okay, let's go.
had
Let's
a nose plug actually, and apparently he doesn't need it.
Right here. Ready?
It's Tracy Decker on the right. That's the Postville coach yelling encouragement to Brent Myers.
Well, here we are again, Tim. That 8 seconds, good takedown time when your opponent can't answer. But the way it's gone, neither man will do it. 2-1 in favor of
Got third period. Got
Van
Green's
Lengen.
choice.
There's a
Big
Janesville
third period.
coach.
Green
Brett
takes
Jones
down.
is the head coach, and Andy
Got a
Seiler
warning,
is
Green.
the assistant.
Set. Cover.
Brett Jones
So this
on the
time
left.
Van Lengen starts on top. Myers began the last period on top. Now Myers is in a cradle because Van Lengen has his hands locked underneath, couldn't keep it. Try to lock it up again. As soon as his man begins to come up, there he locks it up, you see. Now he has a little tighter. This is not where Myers wants to be when he needs a pin to win. And here comes Van Lengen taking Myers.
Done two. Done three. Two.
He got 2 back points. He held him for less than 5 seconds, but more than 2. And that's a big move for Van Lengen. That cradle, he locks it up again. Now, Myers hasn't figured out how to get up here without getting his head too close to his legs. See, there he is again. He locked it up. Guess what Jed Van Lengen's pet move is? Put him ahead 4-1. And Tracy Decker, Myers' coach, is trying to say, here's how you do it. But he's locked up in that cradle again and on his back. Van Lengen is really making it work.
Well, you know what's exciting here is we just saw the head coach, Brett Jones and Andy Seiler there. It's an interesting story. He took over in mid-season in December for a coach that took a job out of state. And this is his first coaching experience. And here here's the move, and he gets to watch it from the sidelines and say, hey, this is all right. Maybe I'll come back next year as a coach. Nice cradle.
7-2 lead now for Van Lengen. Those 2 near falls have made a lot of difference. Here comes Myers under the arms. He wants to take this man up a trip. And the official, Tim Byers, called Van Lengen for backing out.
You know what's happening? Bondurant Farrar, Coach of the Year Ken Essling's looking like they're going to win the state championship by 1 point.
More and more, 16 seconds to go. 16 seconds to go here. Little excitement on the face there. There's the body lock. But Van Lengen can afford a takedown. He just
Nothing.
but it hasn't happened. 7-2.
Big Janesville win.
Janesville wins.
Postville finishes 4th.
Nice match, man.
And Bondurant Farrar
are the champions, 1A. What a race.
They were the first of the 1A teams to send a man out.
Yep.
And they had to sit the rest of the night and worry about it.
And they got that extra point we talked about.
Yep.
Otherwise, it would have been a 3-way tie.
Send your first man out and let him win big, and then it's a little easier to sit and wait, but not much.
Big.
We'll have a chance
Very
to talk
exciting.
to that young man who just won the title as a coach.
There's
How about that?
Excited fan. It could be a parent. We don't know, but you know, look like a parent, walk like a parent, jump like a parent, might be a parent.
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe you've been in that situation yourself. 160-pound awards, 1A.
Stanwood North Cedar. 5th place, Curtis Eben, Rock Rapids Central Lyon. 4th place, Cody Alish, Grettinger. Third place, Jason Lyles, Pleasantville. Runner-up, Zeb Evans, Lennox. And the Class 1A 160-pound champion from Central City, Benji Silver.
Benji Silver, he's a two-time champion, and not just one. He won last year at 152. So he just packed on 8 more pounds and moved up and did it again. 2 in a row for the Central City wrestler. It's 2A now coming up on the stand. The top 6 at 2A at 152 pounds. Next time we...
Presenting the Class 2A 160-pound awards, Coach Ray Holder of Brooklyn, BGM. 6th place, Justin Hignite, Davenport Assumption. 5th place, Travis Dagos, Sibley Ocheyedan. 4th place, Che Wood, Sheraton. 3rd place, Dustin Den Hartog, Clear Lake. Runner-up, Eric Pettengill, LaPorte City Union. And the Class 2A 160-pound champion from Brooklyn, BGM, Michael Klaus.
Michael Klaus, he won by fall in less than a minute. He happened to catch his opponent, the runner-up, on the edge of the mat, and won in stirring fashion for him.
42-second pin.
That's the 2A division, now 3A for 160 pounds, the 1998
Presenting the Class
championship.
3A 160-pound awards, Coach Travis Young of West Des Moines Valley. 6th place, Joe Fry, Sioux City Heelan. 5th place, Jeremy Bowling, Pleasant Valley. 4th place, Paul Emmerich, Pella. 3rd place, Sean Stender, Eldridge North Scott. Runner-up, Terry Parham, Glenwood. And the Class 3A 160-pound champion from West Des Moines Valley, Andy Harrison.
Right here in the metropolitan area, Andy Harrison, the West Des Moines Valley, a happy champion. Here's Dean Borg.
In AA at 171 pounds, Scott Kaufman of Emmetsburg took a minute and a half to pin Lucas Cleaver of Maquoketa, the champion Scott Kaufman, in AA at 171 pounds. Dick?
All right, Dean, in AAA at 171 pounds, Jessamine Smith of Southeast Polk Runnels defeated Ted Pryor of Cedar Falls by the margin of 10-0. And there you see a couple of seniors who had a great match. And right now we have with us the Coach of the Year and the state championship team, Gene Doyle of Cedar Falls. Gene, 2 in a row and 3 in the 90s. What's happening?
Well, it's been a great 8 or 9 years, I guess, but especially the last couple years. We put together a real nice team last year and won it, and come back with 9 new starters this year, and really had another great season. So it's pretty tough to do, but I'm really proud of our seniors and our other kids that help our team along.
I got to ask you, what does next year look like?
Well, we always say we're going to miss those seniors, but there's another good group of kids coming up. So I hope we're right back in the hunt again.
Best of luck to you, Gene Doyle, the championship coach of the 3A team, Cedar Falls. Back to you, Doug.
Thank you, Dick, and he's the Coach of the Year, too, as a matter of fact. Well, now it remains to be seen whether Cedar Falls will actually win an individual title, because they have 1 wrestler left. They've lost 3 so far. Jim Farrell will be wrestling at heavyweight. Now at 189, we're still in the 1A division. Justin Garvey of New London against Derek Powers of St. Ansgar. And St. Ansgar's Powers is, well, that's Justin Garvey there in the black, and Derek Powers in the red. So we don't have 2 similar uniform colors this time. Should be easy to pick them out, right? If you don't know the wrestlers themselves. But very likely you do. The official is Bob Algo of Anamosa, the head referee here at 189 1A.
Just had a pin at 3A. Wow. We've seen some fast ones, Doug.
I know that Paul Henick was over there. Did he pin or get pinned? He pinned, I think.
Yep. Paul Henick from Cedar Rapids Prairie caps a undefeated year.
Undefeated
39-0.
His brother is a heavyweight at Iowa State, you know, Trent Henick. There's a takedown, makes it 4-2 now. Very quick scoring here in favor of Justin Garvey of New London in the black. Now it's a takedown the other way, and it's 4-4. Boy, I'll tell you, they're racking each other up in this first minute, aren't they? Was it a score or not? One of the officials said he was in.
He called it off. He called it off. No two.
Head referee calls for help on a situation like that. The mat assistant was over on the edge closest to the action, and he said he was not inbound. So it's still 4-2 in favor of the man in black, Justin Garvey.
Fix it.
Give Bob Aljo credit there for listening to his assistant, John Buter, right there, and
Right.
trusting him there. There's Kirby Moses.
So what happens when you're a veteran official, as Aljo is?
Kirby Moses, we just saw, is the St. Ansgar coach. Been there 21 years, 14 as a head coach.
Justin Garvey fights off a single leg attempt by Derek Powers. Keeps his lead here at 4-2 with 20 seconds left to go in the first period. That's Powers again in on the leg.
Go, guys.
Out of bounds with 14 seconds to go.
Mark Cherry kind of, he's hidden there because that's the head coach on the right-hand side for New London in their colors there, the black and the gold.
Justin, from the final team standings in 1A, the update here between periods.
There it is. Look at that.
The champion by 1 point over 2 teams.
And that's that extra point scored for the major decision by their champion, Tim Corey. And out of those 64 points, about 52 of them were scored by Corey family, the Corey family. Woo! That's pretty great story. It's the Corey story.
Second period started with Derek Powers on top. He's still on top with 15 seconds into the period, leading by 4-2. Justin Garvey, the man on the bottom, won 3 decisions to get into the finals. The first 2 were not close, but in the semis, he had a 3-2 win, a 1-point lead win over Joe Ritzert of Lake Mills in a really tough match. And Derek Powers got in with 3 decisions, and he had 2 tough ones. He won by 2 over Mike Cassidy of Martinsdale St. Mary's in the quarterfinals, and then had a 1-point win over Tim Rushford of Wyoming Midland. That was a very good match. I remember seeing it last night. 7-6, as I recall, he came from behind to win that one to get into the finals.
Let's go. You're up.
5-2.
There's Jim Gibbons on the left there, our guest color commentator at the Iowa Conference Finals. Those were exciting, weren't they, Doug?
They really were.
Jim did a great job as well.
He did. He really did. Glad to have him aboard helping out. 5-2 with a minute left here in the second period. Front headlock for Garvey of New London, who leads 5-2. He's just been hit with a stall warning. Five to 2 lead, and he's been warned once. Back they come to the center. The man in red is from St. Ansgar. There's Dave Stockdale, who is
Dan McCool and
Dan
with
McCool
the hat
in the register, both of them. Dan McCool with a cap on makes the ratings, throughout the season for the high school wrestlers, and keeps really close eye on him and has for many years. He's just worked at this sport like crazy, and Dave Stockdale follows the sport extremely well too.
Nice job by Garvey here. He had a quarter Nelson. He shucked by. Now he has to get him down to the mat, though. He's got to get Powers down to the mat. He doesn't. Had the opportunity, missed it.
5-2 with 16 seconds left in the second period.
Mark Cherry on the right there. That's the head coach, and Brian Swafford on the left, the assistant coach. 12 years as the head coach at New London.
Garvey came in here 44-3.
I get 2.
Right at the end, the official says, yes, you did. You got the takedown in time. And that was a very big takedown for Garvey. He goes up 7-2.
That's Kirby Moses there. Like I said, 21 years at St. Ansgar, 14 as the head coach.
Garvey's going to do an international start, touch start. But he was fooling. He came right back on again. You see that once in a while.
Third period, Garvey ahead. His coach a little worried. Mark Cherry tore some cartilage practicing and working with the Justin Garvey. He says, I don't want him jumping in my arms. He says, maybe I should jump in his arms instead. Says, either way, it's been a great season.
Bill makes you not going to run parallel, top man. Let's go.
Bob Aljo brings it back up to their feet again. 7-2 lead for the man on top in the top position here in the third period, a minute 38 to go.
New London out of 27 junior high and high school wrestlers. They only had 15 out in high school and 12 in junior high. There were 6 sets of brothers.
This time Derek Powers turned halfway around the switch, and he got it right on his back. because Garvey caught him on the way around and just took him straight back. 10-2 now after the near fall. Big lead for Garvey. Well, I'll tell you, if Mark Cherry's worried about somebody jumping into his arms, he better get ready.
Yeah, or turn it around.
Or turn it around somehow, because it's looking more and more like it's going to happen unless Derek Powers can think of something quick. An escape goes to Powers, and he has visions of turning Garvey over anyway. That's how the near fall occurred. That's where it was a moment ago when Garvey caught Powers coming around on a sort of a half-hearted switch. It was not a very good-looking switch, actually, and I'm sure Derek Powers wishes he had it back.
Hey, guys.
Try over again. Because he ended up losing 3 points by it, straight to his back. 10-3 after the escape. 50 seconds to go in this match at 189 pounds. We'll go to heavyweight next. We'll tell you in a moment who we're going to go to featured match. Iowa High School Athletic Association in their rotation gives us the first 12 weights, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, and 4, and then we decide which one we want for the heavyweight. Depends on a lot of things. 10-3 in favor of the black singlet over the red singlet. Justin Garvey over Derek Powers.
13-year quest for Justin Garvey. He started wrestling in kindergarten, but his coach said that he never won a match until he was in 3rd grade. But here he is, 10-4, 10 seconds left. Looks like he's a state champion from New London.
Well, it looks more and more like it. Last 5 seconds, he's up by 6 points. He went all the way over in the head, all the way over on the AAA mat this time. It was one of the longer takedown attempts of the night. But it was all out of bounds for Derek Powers, unfortunately. And there it is. It's over. A victory for Justin Garvey, New London, and for his coach, Mark Cherry.
Congratulations, both of you.
Good way to look at it, Bob Al. Joey says congratulations to both of you. That's absolutely right. They go 1 and 2 in the state.
Well, there's the. He didn't jump too hard on the coach there.
No,
Took it easy.
Gave him a little hoist.
Coach Brett Jones of Janesville.
The awards at 171.
6th place, Andy Kaufman, Wapsie Valley Fairbank. 5th place, Dallas O'Brien, Leon Central Decatur. 4th place, Adam Corey, Bondurant Farrar. 3rd place, Casey Chalupa, Durant. Runner-up, Brent Myers, Postville. And the Class 1A 171-pound champion from Janesville, Jed Van Langen.
That was a heck of a match he had tonight to win, but Jed Van Langen came through. He's the 1A champion at 171. Something to remember, huh? And I'm sure if you're watching in Janesville or close by and you know him, you'll take the chance to congratulate him when he comes home.
Presenting the Class 2A 171-pound awards, Coach Robert Kennedy from Emmitsburg. 6th place, Justin McAtee, Storm Lake. 5th place, Sonny Alvarez, Davenport Assumption. 4th place, Eric Nelson, Adel DeSoto. 3rd place, Chad Chemas, Tama, South Tama County. Runner-up, Lucas Kluber, Macokota. And the 2A 171-pound champion from Emmitsburg, Scott Kaufman.
Scott Kaufman of Emmitsburg. They've had a number of great champions over the years, and he joins the list. And he's joined it in a big way. He won the fall at that weight, 171, in the 2A division. Now, the bigger schools, AAA, at 171 pounds. We'll have the heavyweight wrestling weight ahead, and then we'll be on to the team championships.
6th place, Luke Whitrock, Boone. 5th place, Chris Richardson, Iowa City West. 4th place, Jared Jeffress, Lewis Central Council Bluffs. 3rd place, David Larson, Decorah. Runner-up, Ted Pryor, Cedar Falls. And the Class 3A 171-pound champion from Southeast Polk Runnels, Jessman Smith.
Jessman Smith, the 3A champion at 171. Let's go to Dick Trotter.
Okay, and at 189 pounds in AAA competition, here you're going to see a 57-second fall by Paul Heenick of Prairie High School as he pins Brett Chambers of West Des Moines Dowling. And there you see a very, very elated Heenick from Prairie. Right now we have a guest. He's the Coach of the Year for Class 1A Bondurant Friars, Kent Essling. Kent, 2 in a row. Last year the dual meet and this year the individual. How's it feel?
Feels really good. Our kids did a great job. I got 3 Corey boys and a kid named Bud Hardy that come down here along with Jimmy Miller. They did just a wonderful job for me. We did what we had to do, and in the final match we had to have a major decision, and Tim got that for us. And he's finished, 41-0, and he's a junior.
Yeah.
So 2 of my good kids are back. The defending state champion got beat, but he got 4th.
You won the 4-team horse race by a single point.
It was a wonderful race with a bunch of wonderful coaches that I've been associated with for many, many years, and they all did a wonderful job, and it was just a lot of fun to have this kind of a tournament, win it by 1 point. So.
Right. Congratulations,
Thank you
Coach,
very
and
much.
best of luck to you in the future.
Thanks.
Back to you, Doug.
Well, and best of all, it's a lot of fun when you win, isn't it, Coach? Great. Now we're going to pick out the heavyweights at the 3A level. We're going to watch Cedar Falls' Jim Farrell try to become a Cedar Falls champion, because they don't have a champion yet. They managed to be far enough ahead coming into the finals that they held on, even though they haven't won one yet. Randy Fulsis of Decorah is the opponent. He's been real tough this year, so that'll be interesting. There's a pin coming, looking for over on the 2A mat, so you can see
Everybody's going after the record,
Dan Bites and Travis Henning over there. And it's Bites of Delhi and Maquoketa Valley on top from the looks of it. This Jim Farrell is, he won a big match last night against an undefeated wrestler from Prairie. And I remember you saying yesterday to Tim Johnson that Jim Farrell's quite a story about how you stay with it.
Yeah, I mean, Farrell, he wasn't above being on the junior varsity for Cedar Falls for 3 years. He gets his first shot at varsity, and look where he's at. He's in the state finals. What a lesson. If you're a wrestler out there, you haven't broken through the varsity, you say, well, golly, I haven't done it for 3 years. What's the use? There's the use right here. Farrell, 4th year in the program, state finals, and it's his first year on varsity. That's a great story.
Here comes Randy Fulsis in on the leg. Countered by Farrell. That was a pin, as you saw, over on 2A. Had the wrong man on top. It was Travis Henning from Monona MFL Marmac.
I said everybody's going for the record, Doug. They got to go for it pretty fast, because the record for the fastest fall in the state championship match, 8 seconds by Sheldon's Jeff Schwartz, super heavyweight, 1984.
1984, I remember that. We covered that.
Roger Williams on the left,
we almost
right there.
covered it anyway.
Yeah.
We're about 1 second too late, maybe. Jim Farrell against Fulsis, and no score. Fulsis of Decorah. He's been tough this year, and he's been tough in this tournament, although he's been up against wrestlers who seem, always look to me a little bigger than he is. Doesn't seem to matter to him.
Well, Decorah is only 200 pounds. And Jim Farrell, you look at him. It's packed. It's 275 pounds.
And boom, he got right in on a double leg the best way you can. Right straight ahead and with a lot of power. Now he's working on a bar arm to try to turn his opponent over. Randy Fulsis had a pin against Iowa City West in the semifinal round.
That's power. Before. Look at that power, Doug. Woo! Look at that. And it's also watch that knee. It's also 75 pounds on Fulsis. 75 extra pounds.
He weighs 275.
Both all-state football players, both these guys.
Red.
Jim Farrell of Cedar Falls. He had a pin in his opening round. He beat Joe Thompson of Indianola in the quarterfinals, and then had to go overtime against Seth Scott of Cedar Rapids Regis LaSalle and beat him in the semifinals to get here. And now he's up 2-0 over Fulsis in an attempt here to become the one Cedar Falls wrestler to win an individual title to go with the team championship they've already taken away. Jim Farrell.
This is a district rematch, and Fulsis was leading 4-2 in the district, and then got pinned in the district finals by Farrell. So he was ahead 4-2, got caught and pinned. These guys have seen each other in the last 7 days.
Well, and I suspect that Farrell's coming into it with a certain kind of little sense I can do it to you, fella, if I have to.
And Folsis is saying, you know, okay, I want you to remember who was ahead.
Yeah, that's right. 2-0 though in favor of, 2-1 I should say, in favor of the man in red. Rose color, whatever you want to call that, Cedar Falls color. You look at Jim Farrell there. For a senior in high school, you think, who's going to take him down? But
went to his knees there, tried a high crotch, but got down, caught on his knees, and Folsis was able to stop him.
Back out to the center again. How much time? Less than 30 seconds to go in the first period here at heavyweight in the 1998 High School Wrestling Championships. There's a nice
nice outside single there. Wow.
Very cute. Very nice.
Very, very nice.
It's just about to have to do it. You can't go straight at somebody as strong as Farrell.
You find the angle.
You got to do just exactly what he did.
Look at this, drops through, just kind of a little boot scoot that Lincoln McElravy used to use there, and he's caught it off Iowa Public Television as many times as we've, you know, done Lincoln. So
that's exactly right. I was going to say, looks like it started like a duck under, but then he went around on his seat. Exactly what I was thinking. Lincoln McElravy called that a boot scoot, and it worked for Randy Folsis. He's ahead 3-2. There's the end of the period. Now we have 2 minutes to go, 3-2.
There's 3A, Cedar Falls the winner, Glenwood second, Decorah in third place to stay, and they get the trophy by a half a point.
Half a point over Lamar.
Woo!
In here, cover him.
Cedar Rapids Prairie finishes the top 5. Folsis is telling the referee as he must. He's going to do it because he's going to use the international start. So he lets Farrell out, ties the score 3-3 with 2 minutes to go. Folsis feels confident on his feet. He lost the first takedown, but he got the second one, and he wants the third one. So there he is on the leg low. Can he come
nice job,
behind?
He gets up to his feet. You got to get to your feet. He did a great job. Runs it, covers it, 2.
And he got it. 2 points, takedown. He was in, his supporting parts were in all right.
There's Jay Llewellyn, assistant coach, in on it, and what he did so well was got to his feet. You stay on your knees, you're dead. Get to your feet. Then he takes him up, treetops him, hooks him, drives him into the mat, covers him, and still has his knees in.
So it's a big takedown. It makes it 5-4. It was 5-3 before he let Farrell go.
In 1A, the leader is Tim Helgeson from Lake Mills over Bill Stewart from Truro Interstate 35.
5-1. In fact.
Stay in there.
Straight ahead double this time by Folsis. He goes right under.
And that's why you don't go straight ahead. He's lucky he went off the mat. There's Gene Doyle saying, hey, I want you to go, Farrell. You go. You got to go forward. All the action right now is Randy Folsom. And look at, you saw Roger Williams say, go around, find the angle.
You don't try to catch the pine tree as it falls. Folsis of Decorah 5-4 over Farrell.
Great heavyweight match.
It really is. And it's, classic stuff, too, because there's a very strong straight-ahead wrestler who's done a great job. He had a terrific double.
Nice low single.
Good single by Folsis. He's done it with the cute stuff. Really clever. He's showing you Tim, what you've meant all year by not going straight ahead, but the angles, going around.
Look at this, watch. He finds it, shucks him by, drops it low, then drives through against the knee, covers the hips, 2 points.
He's not attacking his front that way. He's attacking from the side. Farrell had actually turned to see him. And it's a 7-4 lead for Randy Folsis. Sometimes how you can beat somebody who's bigger than you are. But in the district finals, when Folsis was ahead, Farrell caught Folsis and pinned him, but we only have 12 seconds to go here. 1A is done. The winner over there is Tim Helgeson, 5-1. And this one's almost over. 5 seconds, a 7-5 lead 7-5.
And Roger Williams is saying, finish it.
Right there.
Go all the way. Don't stop. Finish it.
Get on, Green.
5 seconds, 3, 2, 1. Farrell
Wins
takes
it.
a shot.
Revenge.
It is too late. Revenge. State championship for Randy Fulsis and Jim Farrell. Unfortunately, in a few minutes he's going to be sorry that he lost his temper.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, he's going to be sorry he lost his temper in a minute. And I think Randy
They just
Fulsis
lost a team point. Now see, and wow, wouldn't have that been something if Glenwood would have won? Holy cow.
Cedar Falls would have lost a point. Well, Fulsis for Decorah wins the last win of the 1998 championships.
There's the coach, Roger. Whoa! He says yes.
Well, he's been around a while. He knows how to do that really well.
6th place,
And with
Joe
that little
Ritzer,
pump.
Lake Mills. 5th place, Andy Dickinson, Woodbine. 4th place, Tim Rushford, Wyoming Midland. 3rd place, Mike Cassidy, Martinsdale St. Mary's. Runner-up, Derek Powers, St. Ansgar. And the Class 1A 189-pound champion from New London, Justin Garvey.
Justin Garvey, the victor. He wrestled a very solid, dominant match at that weight. I think the score was something like 10-4 finally. Justin Harvey, the champion from New London. That's 1A at 189. We'll have 6 awards in a row here, 189 and a heavyweight, before we get the team scores. You give the team championship trophies. So stick around here. We'll show it all to
Presenting the
you.
Class 2A 189-pound awards, Coach Chris Moss of West Union North Fayette. 6th place, Jason Cushman, Knoxville. 5th place, Drew Duff, Winterset. 4th place, Joe Hutchins, Cascade, Western Dubuque. 3rd place, Drew Bauman, West Lyon, Inwood. Runner-up, Nick Paulson, Atlantic. And the Class 2A 189-pound champion from West Union, North Fayette, Lance Geyer.
North Fayette, big championship for a 189-pounder at the 2A level. You bet you smile. It's hard for those runner-ups to smile because it's just too fresh, that loss, but they've been very good sports about it anyway. 189 pounds at the 3A division. We'll have the heavyweights next.
Presenting the Class 3A 189-pound awards, assistant coach Craig Harden of Cedar Rapids Prairie. 6th place, Nate Nerum, Boone. 5th place, Ryan Fulsat, Decorah. 4th place, Scott Heron, Fort Madison. 3rd place, Greg Rorda, Southeast Polk Reynolds. Runner-up, Brant Chambers, West Des Moines Dowling. And the Class 3A 189-pound champion from Cedar Rapids Prairie, Paul Heenick.
He won with a pin. An exciting finish for Paul Heenick, the champion at 189. Wonder how much he's going to grow. Well, let's go to Dean Borg.
Heavyweight, single A. Tim Helgeson of Lake Mills, just inside the Minnesota border, far north of Des Moines, is the champion in heavyweight. He defeated Bill Stewart of Interstate 35 along the Missouri border, 5-1. A takedown and 3 near-fall points in the first period carried Tim Helgeson to the championship.
Coach Jamie Ball of Lake
Let's get
Mills.
the heavyweight awards now, 1A.
6th place, Nathan Mark, Lakeland Terrell. 5th place, David Herod, Northland Troy. 4th place, Jeff Weaver, Durant. 3rd place, Nick Zerker, Postville. Runner-up, Bill Stewart, Truro, I-35. And the Class 1A heavyweight champion from Lake Mills, Tim Helgeson.
Congratulations, Tim Helgeson. Champion for the 2A division. 1A division, I should say, at heavyweight. Pose just a moment to get all the pictures taken, the photographers out front. Something for the scrapbooks of all these top 6 wrestlers, and they make way then for the 2As. That's Veterans Auditorium. All those seats were filled for practically the entire
Presenting
meet.
the Class 2A heavyweight awards,
All week.
Coach John Brook of Monona, MFL Marmac. 6th place, Steve Casper, Winterset. 5th place, John Peters, Waterloo, Columbus. 4th place, Robert Hamrick, Bloomfield, Davis County. Third place, Ryan Toohey, Davenport Assumption. Runner-up, Dan Bites, Delhi Makokata Valley. And the Class 2A heavyweight champion from Monona MFL Marmac, Travis Henning.
Congratulations to Travis. Let's go to Dick Trotter.
And Travis Henning is quite a story. He qualified as a freshman. He took 5th place as a sophomore, 4th place as a junior. Tonight, he's a state champion as he defeats Dan Bites. He pins him in 1 minute and 32 seconds. Quite a night for young Mr. Travis Henning. Let's go back to Doug.
And just in time for the 3A awards to be given at heavyweight, the 275-pound limit.
Presenting the Class 3A heavyweight awards, Coach Roger Williams of Decorah. 6th place, Joe Moeller, Urbandale. 5th place, Dennis Anderson, Glenwood. 4th place, Tyler Rogers, Iowa City West. 3rd place, Seth Scott, Cedar Rapids, Regis LaSalle. Runner-up, Jim Farrell, Cedar Falls. And the Class 3A heavyweight champion from Decorah, Randy Fulsath.
Good grin. That's one of the best smiles we've had all night. Randy Fulsath at heavyweight for Decorah. Outweighed but not outgunned. He's the champion from the Northeast Iowa town of Decorah. So that's how it happened. Those are the champions. We have the team trophies yet to come, so stick around here. Mo Kelly's going to be out, and he's going to introduce the championship teams. As you said, Tim, you know, the coaches of the year elected by their friends and their colleagues in the around the state, wrestling coaches, were the people who won the titles tonight.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's really neat. You know, obviously it's appropriate. They're the coach of the year. You know?
Yeah, why not? That's the best way to prove it, you know, by winning your team. But we're going to give away 3 trophies tonight, and then we'll have a chance also to say hello and thank you for a lot of people who work on the Iowa Public Television coverage throughout the year and have for many, many, many years for this great sport of college and high school wrestling. So we're going to go to the awards, and I think Mo Kelly's just about ready to go. I'm keeping an eye on him over here on the scores table. Let's take a look at the team champions right now before we give the awards, okay? First of all, 1A, 2A, 3A. Here's Mo Kelly.
We're going to begin with Class 1A to present the trophies. Members of the Board of Control of the Iowa High School Athletic Association. To my left is Kirk Rentschler, Superintendent Solon. Next to Mr. Rentschler is Mr. Dauma, Les Dauma from MOC Floyd Valley. And next to him is Mr. Stillwell, Jerry Stillwell, Des Moines East. And next to Mr. Stillwell is Chuck Van Heck of Muscatine. Okay, in 1A, we begin with 58 points. We had a 2-way tie for second. So Post Bill is 3rd place with 58 points. Coach Tracy Decker and Post Bill, 58 points. They'd come forward. Post Bill.
Yeah,
well, I'll tell you what, they surprised everybody, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's neat because what they said is there's going to be 2 second-place
trophies. All right, here we go.
Postville.
They figured they finished 4th.
But they finished 3rd. You see what I'm saying? Because Columbus and Wilton tied for 2nd, and they're saying you got 3rd. I like that. More
a 2-way tie for 2nd in Class 1A. Wilton, Coach Steve Shirt, 63 points.
Who gets to hold the trophy? I guess they have to pass it back and forth between each other. It's funny because the teams were all ready to wrestle, but they aren't ready to get their trophies. They have to get together and come on out. Here he comes.
Coach Steve Shirk and Wilton.
This is neat because Steve Shirk had retired last year after winning the state title, and then the coach that was to take over backed out in the last week before classes started, and he said, Steve, will you take it one more year? And he said, sure, I will. But you better get a coach next year. I want to watch my daughter and my son compete. And so Steve Shirk comes back, finishes second again.
All right, well, I'm glad he didn't shirk his duty.
No.
We're going up now to the
And tied with them.
Tied for second
and,
place.
And will be receiving a duplicate trophy. Columbus Junction, Coach Bill Plain.
Now the thing about this is that Columbus Junction was in there last year in a different division.
Well, and Wilton won it in 1A, Columbus won it in 2A, and they now finished tied for second
Columbus
in
Junction.
1A.
There it is, nice trophy.
Rob Hoback, their champion.
It was a very close race in 1A. Those two second-place teams at 63 points. The champion with 64 points. Coach Ken Essling and Bondurant Farrar.
I believe that's their first state championship. I'll check it real fast. And it is. It's Bondurant Farrar's first state championship ever in the history of their sport, at that school. There it is.
64 points, just one.
Got to be one of the closest races in the history as well.
It's one of those things where you go home and say, now that extra point we could have got maybe here, maybe there.
Ken Essling is one of the good guys in the sport. He deserves it. I'm really happy
And in
for him.
Class 2A, a three-way tie for third place with 57 points.
Wow.
Coach Gary Weber and Clear Lake.
Well, they got to give out 3 trophies for
right.
third IHSA. Good thing they had that record crowd. You know, a few more pay. You know, they can afford it.
Your dues are going to go up next year, friends, in AA, but Iowa High School Athletic Association.
Also tied for third with 57 points. Shenandoah, Coach Kent Jorgensen.
Matt Anderson made sure of that with his championship for Shenandoah.
Late in the game. A lot of little subtleties in this team race today. Although the number 1 was settled quite a while ago, actually, in this division.
And the third team tied for third place with 57 points. Coach Marty Niblo and Winterset.
Familiar name in 2A, Winterset.
Lots of champions there over the years. Out they come. Don't have far to go home to show off that trophy either, too. Head west on Interstate 35.
Depends on whether they win the flip for the trophy.
In Class 2A, second place, 59 points.
Woo, just by 2.
Coach Larry Straw and New Hampton.
Good for Larry. Boy, Larry's a great story. You know, he started at Mount Vernon, had a great program there at Mount Vernon, and then he got out of coaching for almost 2 decades and came back, and a couple of years ago agreed to be New Hampton's coach and gets himself a trophy.
How many of these coaches tonight have...
And the 2A champion with 109 points, Coach Wade King and Davenport Assumption.
He did it a little bit differently in Cedar Falls. 3 state champions.
That's right.
And boy, look at that! What a great program. There's Sean Watts, or the Watts kid there won it as a freshman, 44, 45 and 0.
So there are the standings. Look at that, 50-point win. They won by almost as many points as the other teams had.
All right, in Class 3A now, in third place, 75 points. Coach Roger Williams and Decorah.
No extra trophies needed here. They've clear cut 3, 2, and 1.
Clear cut. Third place won by a half a point over fourth. Very clearly.
A little chip.
Yes.
Big win for this team.
Decorah.
And they won that championship. They won that trophy on the last match.
In second place with 85 points, Coach Bob Dyer and Glenwood.
Here comes Glenwood. They were in it right to the end.
And I was mistaken because they were ahead by a half, and it wouldn't have mattered what happened, and so they added 4 onto there. So you're right, clear cut.
at the first place anyway. Glenwood, Class A runner-up.
And the
Congratulations,
Class 3A champion, 89 points, Coach Gene Doyle and Cedar Falls.
Here come 3A champions, Cedar
Gene
Falls.
Doyle's Coach of the Year.
They had a tough last round. They lost
Cedar
every match
Falls,
in the last round.
and lost a point. They went into the
Yeah.
championships with 90, ended up with 89. Still won it.
They still won
All
it.
right, we have a couple requests to make now. First of all,
Thank you. Those are the champions.
all of you fans would please
Those are the champions. And this is a championship of the Iowa High School Wrestling 1998. And it's the, I'm trying to figure it out, it's the 27th year that Iowa High School Wrestling Championships have been televised by public television. All in this building here at Veterans Auditorium. And it's gotten to be kind of a habit. Well, it's a lot of fun.
Well, one habit that's going to end is you and me. I guess
that's right.
It's
only going to end because I'll be watching you at home and saying, Tim, nice call, but...
well, we've come to the end of what's been a wonderful, wonderful ride, and we can't let you get out of here, though. I mean, first of all, I know you're retiring from sports broadcasting to do this new show, The Wrestling Gourmet, but we'll get on by that. You know, watch for it this fall on public broadcasting. But
the first program, live of the Little Butches.
Yeah, we can't let you get out of here with a few little mementos, few special gifts, and both of these gifts
what is this?
Were made possible by DeLong Sportswear in Grinnell, Iowa. DeLong Sportswear likes to recognize outstanding Iowans, Doug, and you are an outstanding Iowan. We agree. The television viewers, DeLong, Iowa Public Television, thinks of you as a very valuable Iowan, a terrific person and a great friend of wrestling, a great friend of Iowa Public Television. So in case you get cold, I want to get rid of this blue thing that you've been wearing, you know, and I'm going to start doing the turtlenecks next year. But, you know, just like the Masters down at Augusta, we need to get you out of this blue coat. Could you stand up? We have something to present to you here.
Seriously, what is this?
We got something real nice.
Oh, this is still on?
In case you get cold next winter, you can be warm and highly stylized in your college
You're going to
wrestling
find out
coat.
that this turtleneck is really just a dickie. There's nothing in the back. Iowa Public Television, how about that?
Look at that, college wrestling coat. Get that on.
What a thing. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it.
And even though
if I can get it on.
Yeah. And even though you never wrestled, Doug, you'll have the perfect uniform and
not
singlet.
With a referee, anyway.
Now look at this next thing here. You'll have the perfect uniform and singlet for the future. We've got something else special here.
Now, I don't have to model this, do I?
Yeah. Here we go.
Oh, no. That's very nice.
Look at this. Whoa.
Oh, what a great bunch of people. Oh, that's right.
Arizona somewhere in the warm weather.
You look good.
Yeah, that's right.
You look good. We're good.
Hey, I like that. I like that. 22 seasons at college wrestling, certainly. Thank you a whole lot.
Few closing thoughts there?
Yeah, well, as I said earlier, you know, well, first of all, it's really lucky, you know, when you just grow up in a town. And as you know, one day in junior high school, my dad said, we're going to go to a wrestling meet over at Mount Vernon, which is only 5 miles away.
I know where it is.
Yeah, and you coached in Mount Vernon. So somebody says, all right, let's go see the wrestling meet. So my dad takes me over, and the first wrestling match I ever saw was Dick Hauser pinning a guy from Illinois for Cornell that won the national title that year. And you watch those people, and it was just interest from then on. And so now after, 27 years on the high school wrestling, except for the 1 year that Dick Trotter here took over when I was out of town, you can't be luckier than that, you know, to be around it. You just can't. The other thing is that if I've done my job for 27 years, it's going to be much better next year when I'm gone. That's the way it works, you know. You take one cog out, another one comes in. Like John Kelling has been with us for 5 years and more as our graphics man, giving you those scores up and you see on the board, just written up there punched up on the computer. He's moving to another wing of Iowa Public Television. There'll be somebody in there to take over from him too. But you'll still have Doug Brooker, who's the best wrestling producer in the world, and Tim Johnson here will be back in this spot again, and the great floor reporters. And the real picture of Iowa Public Television, everybody knows Big Rich White out there with that shoulder camera. who knows everybody in the world. He's the guy who stands for Iowa Public TV if you've ever been in a wrestling meet. That's going to go on, right? It's going to get better.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that I've said it before to you, you've called such a great show, and when I hear it's college wrestling or when I hear live from Veterans Auditorium, even if I'm the one mouthing the word, I'll only hear your voice. Thank you for 12 years with me.
You betcha. Well, it's great fun. And it's been great fun for if you just joined in tonight for the first time to watch wrestling, because this is the way it starts. This is what Iowa's all about. I think if you want to know what the state is about, you have to come to a state meet, don't you think?
Just
Tim?
like Newt last night.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Well, it's been great fun. Thank you, Dean. Yeah, I'm sorry I don't mean to make it tough for you. And thank you, Dick. Dick Trotter. Been around. We've been working together for years and years and years and years. And Roger Crimmon's a great floor reporter and all the camera people. It's been great fun. And just for a moment, camera's on me, okay? That's the way it goes. You know, it'll happen to you someday. What do I have to say here? Yes, it's been an exciting season of college wrestling and high school wrestling. It's our 22nd season for college, our 27th for high school. So we'd like to show you a musical salute. This is something that Iowa Public Television does extremely well. I love that opening tonight, Tim and I. Great opening. If you get a chance, well, I don't know. Maybe we'll show it again someday. The high school athletes here tonight. We'll show you the names of the individuals who worked through the season to bring you IPTV's wrestling coverage. All these names that go by to help out. And for Tim Johnson, I'm Doug Brown, and good night for Iowa Public Television.
Funding for the 1998 High School Wrestling Championships was provided by Friends of Iowa Public Television. Nearly 80,000 members supporting quality public television programming. The 1998 High School Wrestling Championships are now available on video cassette by calling 1-800-444-IPTV. This 2-tape set, which lasts 4 hours, is available for $39.95 plus $4.50 shipping. To receive your copy of the 1998 High School Wrestling Championships, call 1-800-444-IPTV. And thank you for your support of Iowa Public Television.